From pretty much the present, this is your host, Adam Graham, bringing you a week of old-time radio detective podcasts from 2012. Because these podcasts are many years old, any offers or information included in the podcast may not be valid unless they're currently reflected on our Great Detectives of Old Time Radio website at greatdetectives.net. Here now is a week of old-time radio detective podcast. Welcome to the Great Detectives of Old Time Radio. From Boise, Idaho, this is your host, Adam Graham. If you have a comment, email it to me, box13 at greatdetectives.net. Give us a call. The number is 208-991-4783, or become one of our friends on Facebook, facebook.com/radio detectives. Today's episode is brought to you by the financial support of our listeners. Thank you so much. And I want to thank Leanne, who just sent along a nice donation. And as we do with all donations of $7 or more, we send access to our premium site. Thank you so much for your support. Here now, from March the 2nd of 1955, is Sweet Larceny.
William Gargan stars as Barrie Craig, confidential investigator.
Exercise can be beneficial, or it can kill you. One guy I know walked himself to death. But still it figured, seeing that the walk he took was the last mile.
The National Broadcasting Company presents William Gargan in another transcribed drama of mystery and adventure with America's #1 detective, Barrie Craig, confidential investigator.
Barrie Craig speaking. In these supersonic times, with the great wide world shrinking to the size of a pretzel, crime is global. Chase a hood across New Jersey, and you're likely to catch him in Botany Bay, or in Algeria, or Madagascar. In view of all this, the cablegram on my desk one merry morning didn't surprise me a bit. It had been dispatched from mid-ocean. The dateline read, SS Shalimar. The text of it said, arriving Friday, 6 p.m. Please see to arrangements for armored truck at pier for safe transfer of the priceless Barrie tomb relics. You were highly recommended by an official of the Cairo police. Signed, Oscar Melamed. Priceless cargo of anything generally brings out the worst in people, and this one was no exception. Hello?
Mr. Craig?
And this is?
I'm Lisa Barnum. I'd like to discuss something with you. Something extremely important.
Capital letter B?
Capital letter B?
B for the Barrie collection.
Why, you're uncanny.
Yeah. I learned the art of divination from One-Note Olio Myers.
One-Note Olio Myers?
A trombone player in the T-Bone Casino Philharmonic.
Go ahead. Finish your joke.
Olio always knew on Friday he was going to get canned Saturday.
Can we meet and talk as soon as possible?
Well, why not?
I'll come to your place.
No, I'll come to your place.
But I'd much rather.
I prefer women in their natural habitat, doll. It helps cement a truer understanding. Lisa Barnum lived in a building that had a taxidermist in the downstairs store. While I looked for her doorbell in the row of 8 bell pushers, a stuffed chimpanzee came out of the taxidermist to stick a gun in my ribs.
Looking for somebody?
Yes, I am.
Lisa Barnum. You're calling on her?
I confess.
Then you're with me from now on.
Your gun says.
My gun says. You see that green and gold job over there?
Snazzy.
We'll take a spin in it. You and me.
Vertically?
Oh, you mean sitting up?
You got quite a grasp of the English.
No. You won't be sitting up.
I won't?
You'll be laying down. Turn to his side a little, huh?
This much?
Yeah. I like hitting them on the side of the ear.
Every man to his taste.
No yelling now when you get it.
I'll try to be a gentleman about it.
We don't want to be scaring people.
Came to with my left ear as big as Dumbo the elephant's. I tried stretching my legs to see how the old blood was circulating. And I knocked over what sounded like a garbage can. I reached a hand out in the pitch dark to get the feel of my surroundings. Almost strangled a cat. I tried getting my bearings by scent. My lungs began to choke up from what smelled like a poison gas barrage. I hate saying the obvious, but where am I?
In a cellar.
And where are you in this blackout?
Over here, sitting on a box.
Why?
Why not?
Now, that stumps me. Say, where's that mustard gas blowing from?
You really disapprove of my cologne.
When I get it in lethal doses.
How do you feel?
Mainly perplexed.
Perplexed? The answers are simple, really.
They always are when you know them. So inform me.
Here?
You know a better location?
Mertz's drugstore, just down the block. You'll want penicillin ointment on that ear before it infects. Here, I'll help you up.
I've always relied on the kindness of women, Lisa. You no doubt are Lisa Bonham.
Yes, I am Lisa Bonham.
In Mertz's, I got one ear swabbed and taped while Lisa bent my other ear.
I saw you assaulted on my stoop. I was upstairs at the front window.
What's your floor?
Second, I ran down to the street to see you thrown into that man's automobile.
That man being?
Why, I don't know. I hailed a taxicab and followed you.
Why?
Why? What would you have me do?
Well, yell police, good and loud. If you were really alarmed about me. However, go on with it.
You were carried into that cellar and abandoned there. When it was safe,
You joined me?
Yes.
Oh, my heroine.
You are an irritating man.
Time out while I check through my pockets.
Well, is anything missing?
Something is.
Your wallet?
No.
Then,
A cablegram I got this morning.
a cablegram?
Don't play dumb.
All right, I won't. A cablegram telling you where and when Oscar Melamed would arrive.
Oscar Melamed and precious cargo.
The man who assaulted you was after the information.
Obviously, and he's got it. And what are you after, baby?
It's a long story.
Well, try condensing it into a few words.
All right. Our family name was Barrie, before it was changed to Barnum.
I get the emphasis.
My uncle, Dexter Barrie, was an Egyptologist. He spent his entire mature life in search of tomb relics.
You make him sound dead.
He vanished without a trace 2 years ago.
Well, where was he then?
In Alexandria, Egypt. My last contact with him was a letter he sent me. I have the letter here, if you'd care to read it.
Oh, later. But meanwhile, you brief me on the contents of it.
The letter states that he'd come upon a priceless collection of Byzantine tomb relics. That he was registering them in his name, Barrie, as the Barrie collection.
And?
And period.
End of Uncle Dexter.
Yes.
And you suspect foul play?
I believe he was murdered and that his collection was stolen.
I see. Are you the last known living Barrie?
If Uncle Dexter is dead, Yes, I am.
Finish what's on your mind.
The tomb relics rightfully belong to me.
So sue for them.
Sue? Should I really be so proper, Mr. Craig? Only sue the man who caused my uncle's murder?
The accused being my current client.
Oscar Millimed.
Well, now answer me this. How did you know the Barrie collection was on board the SS Shalimar en route to here?
I don't care to disclose my sources of information.
Then you can never be my client.
Why can't I be?
Secretive clients worry me. I always imagine they're taking my head size.
Taking your head size?
So the dunce cap will fit nice and snug. Friday, 6 p.m., found me on the pier where the SS Shalimar had docked, as ordered. And also, as ordered, I had an armored truck hired and standing by for the safe and orderly transfer of the Barrie collection. A guy in a red oriental fez who had introduced himself as Oscar Millimed stood with me, watching 2 giant-sized crates being loaded on the armored truck.
I am grateful for your very conscientious services, Mr. Craig.
Repeat that to yourself when you get my bill. Now, when the collection's all loaded, where does it go?
I have given your driver written instructions.
Don't call him my driver. I got the armored car service out of a telephone directory. I make no guarantees.
The collection is to be stored in a vault. I have already made the arrangements.
What's it all worth, Millimed, in round figures?
$300,000.
Well, that explains the buzzards buzzing around.
Every thief in the world has plans to steal the Barrie collection.
Well, we've got at least one native hood around, eager to liven up the competition.
One?
Mm-hmm.
There will be 20, Mr. Craig. You will see.
Well, that junk's loaded and bolted in, Millimed. You want me to ride on the truck?
No.
Be a lot smarter if I did.
The driver has his instructions. Let him go. We will remain here.
Well, you're sure casual with 300 G's, Millimed.
I do not want you injured, Mr. Craig. That is why you remain here with me.
Just what's that supposed to mean? Oh, that sounds like there's something up your sleeve. Some nice hunk of oriental cunning.
Where is your police headquarters, Mr. Craig?
Raymond and 6th. Why?
Let us go there together and await the report of the daring theft.
Theft of the Barrie collection?
Yes, the theft of the Barrie collection.
At police headquarters on Raymond and 6th, we haunted the teletype machine. Completing our trio was a sallow-cheeked sergeant named Joe Tuesday, who looked as if crime gave him an acid stomach.
I've had dizzy characters popping into headquarters before.
Hey, look it.
Look it?
What the ticker tape is saying.
Huh? Oh. Armored truck seized by gang in machine gun raid at corners of Beaver and Howard. Driver and guard kidnapped. Order statewide alert.
Well, you're a champ prognosticator, Millimed. With the hijacked armored car problem in the laps of the Metropolitan Police, Millimed and yours truly went for a spin in my jalopy. The joyride was his idea.
Pier 17, Hoboken. You choose the proper approach, Mr. Craig. But first, you have an important thing to attend to.
Like?
Like the automobile behind us. See, in your mirror?
Yeah, we're being trailed, all right. An old New York custom. Familiar job, the one behind us. Green and gold convertible.
You have seen it before?
I'm getting a nostalgic twinge in my ear. The bum one. Well, shall we tangle with them or lose them?
Lose them, of course.
Fasten your safety belt. Before the green and gold job behind us gave up a hopeless chase, they sent out a signal of defeat.
They are shooting at us.
We're out of range, Millimed. And get your fingers out of my knee.
But I'm nervous.
Who isn't? Now wave a last fun goodbye to the boys. Alone at last on Pier 17, Hoboken, a banana boat was whistling hello to the USA.
Ah, the Susie Q.
Well, why should a banana freighter give you that radiant glow of happy health, Melamed?
Can't you guess, Mr. Craig?
Yeah, I can at that. Sitting midst mountains of bananas aboard the Susie Q is a big piece of ancient Egypt.
A Barrie collection.
Dummy crates aboard the SS Shalimar, and the real McCoy aboard the Susie Q.
A necessary subterfuge. I'm sorry to have used you as a...
Decoy's the word. It's okay with me, so long as justice triumphs. But is justice triumphing, Melamed?
I do not understand your question.
I've got a suspicious nature.
But you trust your own judgment.
Yeah, I do that. And no offense intended, mind you, but you personally don't come off too good in my judgment.
You have doubts about my integrity?
Swine that I am, yes.
The ways of the East are perhaps strange to the West.
$300,000 spells bonanza even in the Hindustani tongue.
But I am the owner of the Barrie collection.
I've heard other points of view on that.
Other points of view?
Yeah. A doll named Lisa Barnum. Lisa Barnum Barrie. Niece of Dexter Barrie.
Oh, I see. Now I understand the reason for your suspicion.
It's only one of my reasons.
Dexter Barrie was a guest in my country, an eccentric expatriate.
What do you mean eccentric?
A better word would be fool. An amateur Egyptologist and an uninformed one. The man was a vagrant, a mere professional beggar.
But he registered a collection as the Barrie collection. The one now aboard the Susie Q there.
A fraudulent registration, Mr. Craig. Barrie was in my employ as a gardener and chauffeur. He registered possessions belonging to me, Oscar Melamed. I have affidavits.
Oh, that's your story. Where is Barrie now?
I can only repeat rumors.
Like?
His death was reported. He had contracted a disease in the Kilimanjaro ranges.
Kilimanjaro? What was Barrie doing in Hemingway's private ballpark?
Looking for fossil specimens. Now, if you will tell me, what is your fee?
Paying me off here and now, huh?
Yes, Mr. Craig. You have been useful, but now you are useless. How much?
Peel off $1,000, Sahib, in New York coin. I took the $1,000 and copped off, but I didn't go too far from my ex-client. I was on his tail, automotively speaking, all the way from the Susie Q to a warehouse in Newark, where the Barrie collection was unloaded and stored. I made careful note of the address. In my office the next morning, business began to boom. The chimpanzee who loved toying with my left ear, he had a gun in each hand. Hey, there's only one of me, Buster.
I carry 2 guns to balance the weight. I don't want one shoulder down lower than the other.
Oh, I see.
Remind yourself of something, Craig.
Meaning?
Where you went with Egypt when you shook my car yesterday.
Oh, Pier 17, Hoboken.
And then to where?
I don't know. I got paid off and canned at the pier.
Baloney.
Slice it, please.
A smart guy like you.
Would know where $300,000 worth of loot is stored.
Yeah, would know.
Mind if I pry into your character a little?
What befoozles you about me?
How a creep straight out of a Manhattan sewer got himself in the middle of a Cairo, Egypt conspiracy.
I got a friend on the lam in Egypt. Maxim Odessa, 3-time loser, so he can't never come home. He sent me a letter.
About the collection?
Yeah, about.
Then you're freelancing?
I got a few pool players in with me.
On your way out, surrender your guns to Sergeant Joe Tuesday.
Joe Tuesday? Where is he?
In the lobby, running the elevator, on the back stairs, and on the roof. You know what an octopus Joe Tuesday is.
You got cops staked out, huh?
For your exclusive benefit, Buster, I'm a guy who takes pride in his ears.
So I had
sticks and stones.
Oh, blast my way out.
You'll make an unbeautiful corpse. Exit smiling, Buster.
Imagine me walking into a cop's stakeout. Me poncho.
You're beginning to bore me. Skidoo now. After Poncho, the 10th Avenue Arab, came Lisa. In top form, throwing curves at me.
I thought over what you said.
And?
I decided to take your advice.
And?
I engaged an attorney. The firm of Brendel, Curdle, and Damhauser.
You're suing Oscar Melamed.
For the Barrie collection. We've already served papers.
A summons and complaint.
And a restraining order. Melamed is not to take the collection out of the country without consent of the court.
What adjudication are you after?
Sale of the collection and the proceeds of it to me.
$300,000, huh?
Approximately.
Lots of mink and banana royals. What about the alleged murder of your dear Uncle Dexter?
There isn't much I can do about a murder done in Egypt or elsewhere.
Yes, there would be the jurisdictional problem. Now, you want to inspire trust and confidence in me?
Yes, so very much, Barrie.
I wondered when you'd begin to coo Barrie at me.
You wondered?
Yeah. A doll finds her lie is showing. She brings sex appeal into the breach. It's not as old as sin, baby. It's older.
What do I have to do to prove my utter good faith?
Prove you really had an amateur Egyptologist uncle named Dexter Barrie.
Prove You don't think I made him up?
Didn't you?
Why, if this isn't... Mr. Craig, do you often have whams on your head?
Only when my feet ache. Let's talk about the morning's news, huh? The Barrie collection's on every front page.
So it is. So what?
Oh, $1 million news break, figuring the space and pictures. And here, a feature interview with Oscar Melamed. How his Oriental ingenuity baffled every Raffles from Tibet to Hoboken, New Jersey.
But it all does qualify as big news. Or does it mean something else to your warped mind?
It does, doll. But I won't tell you. Not until I tell it to Oscar Melamed first. Now, try sitting on my lap. I'll toss you out of the window.
Why, you're nothing but a stick of wood.
Oh, I'll just bet you tell that to all the boys. Melamed had company when I found him. Company just about to leave. Distinguished, middle-aged, black Homburg. The type American tycoon with nervous money and a collector's itch. I caught their parting words.
Then I'll assume it's agreed, Mr. Melamed.
We are in complete harmony, Mr. Cartwright.
You drive a hard bargain, but I can afford it. Good day.
Good day, Mr. Cartwright.
Tell me, which Cartwright is it? The banker or the steel baron?
Mr. Cartwright is in oil.
Marinated in your special brand of oil.
Why have you come here?
Putting it bluntly, to stymie a bunco game.
A bunco game? What absurdity.
The trash you're trying to palm off as treasure.
You call the Barrie collection trash?
I do. And all the hijinks and publicity around it is only a build-up for susceptible suckers. What you're really selling him is a collection of newspaper headlines. The publicity has him so dazzled he won't remember to inspect the merchandise. Oh, I see you stopped laughing. Okay if I bore you with the details of your fraud?
I'm listening.
Thanks. Lisa Barnum's in with you, a full partner in the swindle. Her phony uncle routine, and now the lawsuit against you is just more stage dressing. Like that armored car and the two fighters. All more bait for suckers.
And the gangsters? Are they also full partners with me?
No. The mob was on its own. Flies around honey, or what they thought was honey. But all grist for your scheme. The shenanigans of the mob got you more juicy headlines. Helped make trash really look like treasure. Now, you going to take a rest gracefully? Or are you the type who blows his fez?
Despite these circumstances, Mr. Craig, I am forced to admire you.
Well, thanks for saying it. It's what I live for. The goodwill and admiration of my clients. After all, Man doesn't work for bread alone.
You have been listening to William Gargan in another exciting transcribed mystery drama from the adventures of Barrie Craig, confidential investigator. Tonight's story, Sweet Larceny, was written by John Robert. Next week, it's the strange story of Corpse on the Town, about which Barrie Craig has this to say. In Corpse on the Town, Death rewrites the script of a Broadway show when a bachelor producer becomes a widower in two easy stages, marriage and murder. The National Broadcasting Company has just brought you an NBC Radio Network production with William Gargan, starring as Barrie Craig, confidential investigator. Directed by Andrew C. Love, our cast included Edith Terry, Lou Krugman, Jan Arden, and Jonathan Holmes. Join Groucho Marx for You Bet Your Life tonight on the NBC Radio Network.
Welcome back. Well, quite an elaborate con game here. And I guess as it was an NBC show, the whole Joe Tuesday thing was okay. I should note we did have a couple of lost episodes between last week's show and this one. The only one we have a title for was the one from the 23rd, Sweet Hour of Reckoning, which played on February 23rd. But we do have next week's show, so that's nice. No lost episodes that way. All right. Well, we do have some listener comments and feedback I want to get to. First of all, we have this from Bruce. When I was growing up, my father used to tell me how his family used to gather around the radio and listen to the wonderful stories. Though he's no longer with us, I feel a connection with him every night when I listen to your podcast. Thank you so much for all you've done. And Bruce over in British Columbia. Well, thanks, Bruce. I appreciate your comment. Leanne says, we enjoy your podcasts. We listen to you over Roku. Keep up the good work. Thanks so much, Leanne. I've got a Roku, and I think we're on there in a couple ways. I know we're on the Blueberry channel, and I think we're also available through MediaFly over there. Well, that will do it for today. Tomorrow, it's the return of Jack Webb as we present to you Pete Kelly's Blues. So be sure to be back for that tomorrow. And then be with us next Monday for another episode of Barrie Craig, Confidential Investigator. Well, today's episode is brought to you by the support of our listeners. Thank you so much for all of your support. And we begin a new series today, Pete Kelly's Blues. It of course marks a return of Jack Webb to the starring role in our series. The first 40 weeks we had Jack Webb in first Pat Novak for Hire and Johnny Madero, and then as the first Jeff Regan before making way to Frank Graham. In some ways, this series will have some similarities to the earlier shows, particularly Pat Novak. It was created by Richard Breen, who also was behind Pat Novak for Hire. It took a look at an era in history that Webb was particularly interested in, as well as music. In Pete Kelly's Blues, set in a 1920s speakeasy, where Kelly and his band, the Big Seven, try to survive in the midst of Prohibition. Unlike with Pat Novak and Johnny Madero, Pete Kelly doesn't advertise for trouble, but he certainly does get it in spades, and he has to find his way out of it.
Usually there's some sort of mystery or search involved, but that's not always the case. The stories are punctuated by several jazz numbers each episode, and he got top talents to provide it, including Meredith Howard, playing the role of Maggie Jackson, the singer at Fat Annie's, who is at another speakeasy that Pete Kelly often ends up going to. The series has got a similar feel to the Pat Novak series, and we'll eventually hear Tudor Owen, who, of course, played Jocko Madigan in Pat Novak for Hire. The series does tend to be probably one of the more downbeat shows that we'll play. And I'll caution in advance for parents listening with families, this one is an especially violent episode, so parental guidance is strongly encouraged. So with caveats provided, here now is the premiere episode of Pete Kelly's Blues. From July 4th, 1951, here now is the episode Gus Trudeau.
This one's about Pete Kelly. This one's about him. It's about the world he goes around in. It's about the big music and the big trouble and the big roar of the 20s. So when they ask you, you turn right around and speak up. You tell them this one's about the blues. Pete Kelly's Blues.
Pete Kelly's Blues, starring Jack Webb, with story by Jim Moser, music by Dick Cathcart.
Number 417 Cherry Street is a standard speakeasy. The help is paid in cash, and the books are burned at the end of the month. Every week we use 30 cases of booze and a pound of coffee. After salaries, there's gas and lights and a payoff to the Prohibition boys. In Kansas City, the price is good. For $100, they steer in the drunks and make one rate a year. The place is run by George Lupo. He's a quiet little guy who wouldn't give you the sweat off an ice pitcher. The beer's green and the gin's as young as yesterday, and the music's loud. I'm Pete Kelly. I play cornet. We start every night about 10 o'clock, and we play till they sweep out the broken glass. We don't draw any customers. We don't chase any away. The music is straight New Orleans. It started in the front parlors of Storyville and drifted north. Some of it laid over in Chicago. That's where I got on and rode it out here with a piano player named Rosie. He's still with the band, but last night he was barely with it. We took a break about 11. Rosie was late getting back. He might as well have stayed in there because he kept looking around the room, and the way the piano sounded, you'd think he had on a catcher's mitt. All right, let's take 5, huh?
Sorry, Pete, I'm a little behind tonight.
You haven't left the station. What's the matter?
I'm nervous. Take a look around. Near the door, back this way. Place is full of cops.
Oh, forget it. Have Jake open a couple of windows. And take a walk. Get yourself in shape.
Now till I find out which way to fall, these boys are here for heavy duty. I'll learn that out in the kitchen.
All right, let's duck behind the stand. Come on. All right, what about it?
You know Dutch Courtney?
I drink his beer, that's all.
Somebody shot Courtney up tonight out near Highway 40.
Well, that's too bad. He'd have drawn a good crowd downtown. Who killed him?
I don't know, but whoever he is, he's in for a big night. The police are trying for him, so is his partner.
Well, let him play. How does our place fit into it?
I couldn't guess. We'll soon find out. See the big guy who just walked in the door?
Yeah. Boss cop?
Almost. It's Eddie Newman, Dutch Courtney's partner.
Yeah, come on. We better get back in the stand.
All right, won't be long now. Hot, dry up.
How's your old man?
All right, hold on now. Here she comes.
All right, Rosie. Yell. All right, fellas, let's hit it.
My name's Newman. Come outside.
We're due to play.
I'll hear you later. Come on. You hear about Dutch Courtney? They picked him out of the mud tonight.
It means nothing to me.
It does to me. Dutch was a friend.
Well, if it'll help, try.
I'm short on time, Kelly. Give me a rundown on Gus Trudeau.
There's nothing to say. He played for a while and he went to the boneyard.
You know him. You know his sister.
You'll have to ask Courtney about that. I haven't seen her since the old days.
You know Gus well enough to figure he didn't like Dutch Courtney. He didn't like him 1 pound.
Well, you can't blame him. Dutch sidestepped and paid Trudeau's way to jail.
Bookkeeping. I don't know anything about it.
All right, look, Newman, you're on the wrong track. Now, this is a job killing. Your boy got frisky and somebody sent down a Chicago gun. The price tag shows.
Sorry, Trudeau's my pick.
What did he hit him with, a high-powered rifle? Gus Trudeau's away up in Leavenworth.
He used to be. Gus went over the wall this morning. When he shows up, I want him.
Well, why pick me?
I ask around. He'll head for you. He's broke. He'll need train fare.
No, not if he killed Dutch Courtney. Somebody will give him a railroad. When they dragged the Blues out of the back room and moved them up front, there were 3 of the best leading the parade. They were all blowing cornets. One was Buddy Bolden, one was King Oliver, and the other was Gus Trudeau. There was a lot of music, but not much man. He picked me up on a union date on the south side of Chicago and taught me how to play. He got into me for a Boston 3-star cornet and gin for the rest of his life. When he got down to running errands for Dutch Courtney, I left for Kansas City. A couple of months later, Courtney needed a patsy, and Trudeau was it. He wound up with a 5-year stand at Leavenworth. But Gus never felt right unless he was in trouble. Only this time he cut me in for a piece, too. Well, I picked up a drink at the bar and fought my way back to the stand.
Anything wrong?
No. Did you finish the set?
1 more to go. Sensation.
All right, let's do it.
What's wrong, Pete?
A friend of ours killed Dutch Courtney. All right, sensation. 1, 2. Let's get off for a while, huh?
Who'd you say killed Dutch Courtney?
Gus Trudeau.
And what, Prayer? Trudeau's in jail.
No, not since this morning.
Which one of you is Kelly?
I am.
A friend of yours in town wants to see you right away.
Who is it?
He's waiting up at your room.
Did he give a name?
Just Gus.
An hour later, I was still looking for an out. The muscle man on the side door went to the bar a little after 2 a.m. Our bass man, Red, loaned me his keys, and I slipped out. I got on to 12th Street, picked up his Erskine coupe, and headed up for my room. All the way out Grand Avenue, the streetlights were spending the rest of New Year's alone. Some guys with wide brooms were pushing at the confetti, and the fog was loafing down in Washington Square. When I got to my place, I parked the car in back and headed up the stairs. The college kids down at the end of the hall had their door open. The party sounded young. I was looking for Gus when I opened the door, but he had a substitute. I knew her way back at 18th and Hall Street. She was pretty and the fastest freight in town. It must have been a long time ago, because somewhere along the line she'd run into a batch of Wednesday weekends and she wasn't pretty anymore.
Hello, Pete.
Where's your brother?
I don't know where Gus is. That's why I'm here. I knew you'd be the first one he'd come to.
Yeah. Now what about the break?
I was up to see him 2 weeks ago. He didn't say anything about it. Pete, we gotta help him.
I've been hearing that since I met him.
You're the only one who remembers, Pete. You're the only one who cares.
No, a lot of people care now. Eddie Newman wants him. The cops are looking hard.
I gotta find him before they do. You gotta help Pete.
He was supposed to meet me. That's all I know. I'll wait for him.
He needs a hand, Pete. He's in deep.
Yeah, well, he's always in deep. Now, you do what you want, Madge. I ran front for Gus too long. I'm out of the habit now.
Please.
If Gus wants cover, he can look for a police station.
Gus can get away. Some money and a car, that's all he needs.
It's going to take more than that to get out. Every cop in town's working tonight.
Give him a chance, Pete. Help him.
No, thanks.
Gus has been good to you, Pete. He taught you music. He's been nothing but good to you.
I'm paid up. I bought his gin for him for 5 years.
Well, then do it for me. What I used to be worth.
Now, Madge, it's old. That was 80 years ago. I can't help Gus.
Do it for me. I haven't changed that much.
I have.
You're still the same.
You've been working at it.
You remember.
Yeah.
Oh, it's the same, Petey. It's just like the first time.
You never had a first time. How about a drink?
Will you help me, Pete? Find Gus. Get him out of town.
$10. That's as far as I go. $10 and a quarter. Now I'm getting off.
Where are you going?
Back to work. Tell Gus to take care of himself.
Hold it right there, Pete.
You stayed too long in Chicago, Madge.
I bought the gun in Kansas City. Don't go for the door.
You better give it to Gus. He may need it.
We're going to find him. You're going to help me.
All right, come on. Give me the gun, Madge.
If I shoot, it'll hurt.
Put it away, Madge. Come on, drop it.
Who is she?
We'll trade. Who are you?
Cage. I work downtown homicide. Who you got on the floor?
Madge Trudeau.
Tell me about her.
I knew her in Chicago. After that, I heard she did favors for Dutch Courtney. After that, I don't know.
She tired? What's she doing there?
Looking for Gus Trudeau.
Oh. Where is Gus?
I don't know. I've been asked that twice tonight. Now, this is the third time around. I don't know.
You probably will.
Why? Why do I have to get into this?
Because you're Gus Trudeau's friend.
Well, then let him get another one. I'm tired of the job.
I don't blame you, fella. You're going to come out of this with a lot of trouble.
For instance?
I'll make it simple. If Gus Trudeau shows and you hide him, we'll book you for aiding and abetting.
Yeah.
If he shows and you turn him over to Newman, we'll send you up as accessory to murder.
Yeah.
If he shows you turn him over to us, Newman will probably kill you.
Well, that's good. In the meantime, what do you guys do for a living?
We're busy. We couldn't prove Newman killed you. It's after 2. Get back to that club.
And leave you here?
I got work to do.
Like what?
This woman. See if I can get anything out of her.
Yeah, it's been done before, but I'll bet 10 to 1 in your case.
Go on back. I'll tidy up here.
All right, good night, cop. Leave the rugs. I left Cage standing in the middle of the room looking down at Madge Trudeau. He didn't watch me leave, but I figured it wouldn't be too long before he turned that gleam back on me. I went back to 417, and I ran into our piano man, Rosie, outside in the alley, using a smoke for a chaser.
Happy holidays, Petey. How's Gus?
I didn't see him.
An odd hour of the morning, Petey, but I figure the fates are hard at work shaping up a few sordid futures.
Cut the piano, huh?
You've got a very limited selection.
What do you mean?
Before the general citizenry sits down to breakfast, you may get a reward, the eternal kind.
Come on, what is it?
I've got it all figured for the two of us, Petey. Today we'll spend our time dodging destinies. We'll hit for some small back room. I'll bring the bottled goods. We'll live on gin and sauerkraut and make the walls sit up and listen. One horn, one piano. The blues, Petey. We'll ride 'em into the middle of next year.
All right, throw the bottle away, will you? Just set me straight, huh?
Across the river, there's 2 places, the High Life Club or Fat Annie's.
You sure he's there?
That's what the word is. I'll pass the hat down at the Union Hall for both of you.
Is Gus alone over there?
Right now, but there's going to be a crowd.
What do you mean?
I told you.
Yeah.
When Eddie Newman gets back, I got to tell him.
Well, I knew it was a silly move. Newman had 100 guns on tour for Gus. Cage and the boys from headquarters were standing by for seconds. Helping Gus Trudeau was out of order, but I couldn't get one thing out of my mind. If Gus did kill Courtney, why didn't he pick up some travel money before he did it? It was backwards. If you're going to hang up your pants, you take them off first. Well, it was about 3 a.m. when I got down to the river and crossed over to the Kansas side. The High Life Club was smoked up and had a little of everything except Gus Trudeau. I looked in the kitchen and tried a back room. and then I went to the bar to see if I could drum up some talk. I had one taker, a boy with wavy black hair. He got up from a table of three others and walked over and sat down next to me.
Huh? All right. Come in here often?
Well, this is the first time.
Welcome, then. I'll buy you a drink?
Well, I'm all set. You try one yourself.
I think drinking's all right, but I hate people that drink too much. Don't you?
You work here?
Well, not regular. Sometimes I dance when the other act doesn't show up. You here alone or you waiting for someone?
I'm waiting. For a guy named Gus Trudeau.
You one of his friends?
I'm it. Where is he?
We left a while ago. I'm not sure where he went.
Well, you get sure. It's important.
You mentioned someone named Bessie.
All right, hold it.
What do you hear, Kelly?
Get away, Newman. Try another stool.
This'll do.
Well, if he asked you to leave, I think you should leave.
Oh, well, a choir boy, that's nice.
Leave him alone.
Who is he?
I never saw him before.
What does he know about Trudeau?
Nothing.
Now, don't kid me. You're not here to spend the time of day. You're here for Trudeau. You little friend. Where's Gus Trudeau?
I don't have to talk to you. I'm a guest in this place.
You're not anymore. Climb down and head for that door, both of you.
No, you can't make us do that. We're not gonna leave.
It's a split vote, Buster. I don't like the way he pushes.
That's right. Just walk. I'll bet you look good.
I knew right then as we walked across the floor. I knew Eddie Newman wasn't going to leave him alone. He was going to pick at him, whether he knew anything about Gus Trudeau or not. It was going to get messy, and the boy with the nice eyes was going to help. Outside it wasn't snowing anymore, but the ground was covered right down to the river. There was a moon out, and it looked all right if you like nature. We walked over toward a bunch of trees. Newman's car was parked there. It was a black touring sedan with a strong-arm guy in the back seat. There was another one sitting on the running board. He had a machine gun across his lap.
This'll do. All right, now let's hear about Gus Trudeau.
I don't know anything about him. This man and I were just talking.
Go easy, Newman. I never saw him before.
Did you always talk to strangers? I'll bet he does.
It's none of your business.
Where's Gus Trudeau?
I wouldn't tell you. Suppose I knew, I wouldn't tell you.
Yes, you would.
You keep your hands off of me.
Stop pressing, Newman. You don't care about Trudeau now. You just don't like this guy.
Stay out, Kelly. Come here.
Hey, let go! Let go!
Stop screeching. I'll break your arm.
You keep your hands off of you. You pig, you dirty pig!
You're in trouble, fella. Shut up.
Well, he is a pig. His hands are all dirty and his teeth are dirty. I bet even his clothes are dirty, all of them.
Now lay there. All right, Dave, move in here. Back away, Kelly. You're up, choir boy.
No. Please, mister, do something. Don't let a thing like this happen.
It already has, Buster.
No, you can't.
Tell me, Newman, did you ever find out about Gus Trudeau? Newman didn't answer. He climbed into the car and they drove off. Well, I stayed there for a minute to look at the guy in the snow. His face was unmarked. I did him a favor. I rolled him over so it showed in the moonlight. I knew his mother'd want him to look real good the night Eddie Newman's chopper squad cut him down. Well, it was getting cold out, and the name Bessie had to mean Fat Annie's place up the river on the Kansas side. I made it there and found Bessie. She was back at the piano, wandering around somewhere in the middle of the blues. You couldn't miss that voice if she took up yodeling. Bessie Smith.
I've got those Kansas City blues since my man has gone away. Hi, Pete.
Bessie, what do you know?
Round the back, Pete. You go up the stairs, the loft, way up there at the top.
All right, thanks, Bessie.
All right.
I felt my way out and around back and up a couple of flights of stairs that didn't creak in time with the music. There was a door at the top, and I pushed it open. He was hunched back on a pile of hay in the corner. He sat up and blinked a couple of times. There wasn't much left, just the frame. And rattling around inside, a lot of tired echoes that wouldn't lay down and die. There was an empty gin bottle on the floor.
Petey, I knew you'd get here.
Yeah, well, I didn't make it easy.
You're looking good, Petey. Everything's 6-2 and even, huh?
You forget easy, Gus. You're in a jam. You broke jail.
Yeah, I told him all about you up there, Petey. I told him there's another Gus Trudeau blowing down to Kansas City. I'm proud of you, Pete.
Yeah, sure, Gus.
You're just like me, Pete. I told him all about you. You're the only good thing I ever done. I knew you'd come through. A car and some money, Pete, it'll do everything. It'll make it all new. Is it too much to ask? You tell me, Pete.
They want you for Dutch Courtney.
You know better, Pete. I didn't kill Dutch.
You had a reason.
Did I? Forget.
He hung a frame on you, Gus. 5 years worth, remember?
I didn't kill Dutch. Get me a drink, huh, boy?
No, not tonight.
Don't preach at me. Just something to help me over.
Oh, yeah. Now come out of the fog, Gus. You're going to get a drink or a train ticket from me. You take your pick because it's the last time around.
Just listen to that. Bessie's still going strong, ain't she?
Yeah, and so are the cops. I got one idea for you, Gus. Get moving.
You remember Chicago, Petey? You and Madge. Chicago always liked me.
You checked out, Gus. Biderbeck's got your chair.
They'll remember me and you, Petey. I found you when you were nothing.
What are you going to do? Where you going?
I got it all set up. It's big and brand new. A place in Mexico.
Yeah?
The guy who bunked in my cell with me, his mother runs a place down there. Be just like it used to be.
Yeah, well, you won't get there on a gin bottle.
I got it set up, boy. Car and some money. It's not much to ask. You haven't got a drink, have you?
You can drink in Mexico. Where you dreaming up the car and the dough?
It's fixed, boy. You just see this guy and tell him I'm ready. Abe Gaffney. He's got a place on Pershing Road. You know it?
Yeah, I know it. Abe's doing all this?
Just tell him I'm ready.
All right.
How's Madge, Pete?
She's all right.
Come and see me, huh, Pete? It's hot in Mexico.
It gets hot here.
What's the matter, Pete? You ain't sore, are you?
No, I ain't sore. I'm just tired. I'll tell Gaffney that I'm checking out. Goodbye, Gus.
You're not getting too big for your old friends, are you, boy?
Friends are like everything else, Gus.
Yeah?
They wear out on you. Well, it wasn't any different than a dozen times before. I knew there wasn't very much left, but I wasn't looking for a second-rate ghost with an empty gin bottle. I crossed the river back to the Missouri side and headed down Main Street and then swung over toward Abe Gaffney's place on Pershing Road. It was pushing close to 5:30 a.m. The sun wasn't up yet, and the night was too tired to care. I pulled up in front of the Murad sign in front of Gaffney's. Inside, a counterman with pimples and coffee was leaning on last night's paper. A beaded curtain shut off the hallway that led back to Gaffney's room.
You want some?
Yeah, Gaffney.
Not here.
Where do I find him?
I don't.
I was supposed to meet him here.
That's so?
Look, this is Gaffney's place. Where is he?
I told you.
Now listen, Junior, maybe you think you do a good imitation of Calvin Coolidge, but I want an answer. Where's Gaffney?
What's your name?
Kelly.
You could have saved an argument. This way. Through here.
When do you go to bed, Kelly?
You still looking, Newman?
I'm still asking. Where's Gus?
I don't think you'd give me time to answer.
There's a good reason why I let you walk away tonight. I gave you 2 hours all by yourself on the Kansas side. I don't think you threw him away. You got a line on Gus Trudeau. I want it.
I got nothing for you.
But don't be silly, Pete. The cops get him or I do. It goes either way.
You get no help from me.
I don't want no help. I want Gus. Now, come on!
Come on, come on. I'll make you part of the wallpaper.
You better send for Dave.
I don't need him.
I think you do. Now, don't bother to get up. I'm leaving.
I don't believe it. Wasn't your turn, Kelly.
When I got up off the floor, the room was cold and the lights were out. Newman was gone, but I knew he was still in business. I knew if he didn't find Gus Trudeau this trip, he'd come back for me. I got into Red's car and followed the radiator cap back to 417. I found Rosie back at the stand having breakfast.
Did you bring an egg, Petey? I hate to drink on an empty stomach.
Newman been back here?
I haven't noticed. You look abused.
Yeah. Anybody say anything?
You were missed. You heard the news?
What's that?
They found the guy who got Dutch Courtney, a fellow by the name of Doyle, East St. Louis. Cops got the goods on him, gun, fingerprints, the works.
Yeah. Well, it's been a long night. What was his beef with Dutch?
Doyle owned East St. Louis. Dutch wouldn't believe it.
Leave it to Gus. If there's a hole, he'll fall in it.
Makes it easier on him now, doesn't it? Newman will call his boys off now?
Well, somebody better tell him in a hurry.
Did you see Gus?
Yeah, I saw him. He's trying to get out of town.
Pete Kelly?
Yeah, that's right.
Abe Gaffney, Pete.
Well, you're a hard man to find.
Newman came in the front door. I went out the back. This won't take long. Car keys, money for Gus.
No, you got the wrong guy, Abe. I quit an hour ago.
Fight it out with yourself. The car's out in the alley. It's a great chance. And tell Gus it needs gas.
Hey, wait a minute. You can take this stuff to Gus. You know where he is.
No, thanks. You take care of Gus. He's an old friend.
What's the matter with you?
I hardly knew him.
The clock over the bar was leaning on 6:15. We got back on the stand and started the last set. 80 pounds of stale cigarette smoke was holding up the ceiling and waving down on a dirty blue curtain over the dance floor. Behind the bar, one of the guys was wiping up. Two couples picked their way to the dance floor and pushed each other around a while. They finally gave up. Oh, the whole thing, it was all out of step. Wrinkled stockings, brown gardenias, torn paper hats, and Gus Trudeau. He walked in the door and stood off to one side, just back of the stand. All right, it's the last one. Blues and B flat. That's it. Same call tonight, 10 o'clock. You can pack up.
Hey, Pete. Petey, over here. I heard you. You sound good, Pete. It's just what I told him up there. You're on your way, boy.
All right, now you heard it, Gus. I got the money for you and the car keys. I'll see you, Gus, huh?
You know what I told him? Another Gus Trudeau's blowing down in Kansas City.
Yeah.
I only got one thing to tell you, Pete. Don't forget it. Play like you talk. Don't lie.
Happy New Year, Gus.
Oh, hi, Madge.
Hold it there, Pete. This is a family fight. Stay out.
I thought I took that gun away from you.
What's the matter, Madge? What are you doing?
No, don't sell me that talk, Gus. Dutch can't hear you.
What do you mean, Madge?
You killed him. You blew your top and you killed him, just like you did everything else for me. You and the gin and that cheap brass horn of yours. You spent us all, Pete and me, and you ran through the whole bunch till you got to Dutch.
Pete, I didn't do anything.
You killed Dutch Courtney. I loved him. I loved him enough to square it.
Well, you got it all wrong, Madge.
Goodbye, Gus. I'll tell him to throw your horn in after you.
Want to read the paper, Madge? You killed the wrong brother.
Stay away, Peter.
It's in the paper, Madge. Guy by the name of Doyle. He killed Dutch.
They're not sure, are they?
Yeah, they're sure.
What'll I do?
I got two things for you, Madge. And the car keys. Now you see what you can do with 10 minutes start.
You didn't have anything more for Gus, did you, Pete?
No, I guess not.
Well, he made it.
Yeah, Gus finally got out of town.
Pete Kelly's Blues. Starring Jack Webb with story by Jim Mosier, music by Dick Cathcart. Scoring by Matty Matlock. Pete Kelly's Blues is based on characters created by Richard L. Breen.
This is NBC, the national broadcasting company.
Welcome back. Well, Pete Kelly represents one of these great characters that Webb does so well. Clearly, he's somebody with a lot of mixed motivations and feelings, particularly as he's dealing with this character who has done so much for him, but yet at the same time has managed to ruin his life and those around him. Kelly's not someone you can kind of tell what he's thinking, what he's about by just listening to him, because he'll say a lot of things that sound, tough and hard-boiled. It's kind of his main motivation. But there's definitely a real mix in the character that makes him kind of interesting. I should note, for those who are curious, this series will be running for the next total will be 6 weeks. So 5 more weeks after this week. Well, we turn to listener comments and email. Jeff says, I'm turning 66 in July. Every time I hear about some new programs coming in a few years, I hope I will be here. Since my father is 93, I am sure I will be. Love the podcast and commentary. When I was younger, I loved Jack Webb, but since I grew up with him on TV, know most of his dialogues. Thanks for your commitment. Well, thanks so much, Jeff. And I don't know, you may have heard something newer from Jack Webb. Well, that will actually do it for today. We'll be back tomorrow with Let George Do It. And then join us back here on Tuesday for another episode of Pete Kelly's Blues. Well, today's episode is brought to you by the support of our listeners. Thank you so much for all of your support. And now it's time for today's episode of Let George Do It. This one's called The 8 Ball.
Great. If the job's too tough for you to handle, you got a job for me, George Valentine. Write full details.
Standard Oil Company of California, on behalf of independent Chevron gas stations and standard stations throughout the West, invites you to Let George Do It. First, a suggestion about your car. Your car will be better longer with new RPM motor oil. Scientific tests with Geiger counters and atomically treated piston rings have proved this fact. New RPM actually doubles the life of auto engines between major overhauls due to lubrication. So to save money on expensive overhauls, use the oil that cuts in half the wear rate of critical engine parts. Ask for new RPM at independent Chevron gas stations and standard stations, where they say and mean, we take better care of your car. Now, for tonight's story. The 8 Ball, another adventure of George Valentine.
Dear Mr. Valentine, there's no finer, no more exclusive little town on the map than Summer Springs.
You're not selling them real estate, Nielsen.
I'm writing this letter. Vic, be quiet. Shut the door, will you, Emmett?
Sure, Nielsen. Boys are a little noisy. Guess the luncheon's broke out.
Civic League. Just a lot of talk. None of them will ever do anything but the three of us. Always away, isn't it?
I don't know. You've only written one sentence.
Shut up, Vic. And Summer Springs. Perhaps you visited the hotel here yourself, Mr. Valentine, but at least it's a sure thing you've seen the outrageous charges the federal grand jury and city newspapers have been making about it.
Now, wait a minute, Nielsen. I'm still not so sure this is the right way to go at this.
Here, the mayor speaks.
Well, now, Vic, you're a lawyer. Would you hire a man you've never seen to investigate your own backyard? Now, there's a man I know, a fine detective, who would be only too glad to come down here.
Fine detective like that police force of yours, I suppose. Can't see what's under their own noses.
Well, I'm the responsible one, and it seems to me that I should be...
Wall, his back's to the wall, and his head is all full of surmises.
Now, see here,
You've got
Vic,
to stop being cautious sometime, Emmett. In my bank, I make decisions, and I make them fast.
Yes, but
I agree with Nielsen, Emmett. If we don't get an outside investigator quick, the grand jury will do it. I say let's us find out first. Clean up our own town.
Objections overruled. Now we're getting someplace. Mr. Valentine, I'm enclosing railroad tickets. A public-spirited group, of which I am the head.
3 of us. Don't we sound fancy, though?
Expects your immediate presence. It has been alleged that Summer Springs is being used as the center of payoffs for the big city collection rackets. That our fair town has a jackal in its midst. And it's your job to find it. There. Do it?
That's all right.
Now we'll get some action. I'll mail this right now. Only, see here, both of you. Nobody knows about this but the 3 of us. Remember, nobody else knows about Valentine.
They made a reservation for me at the Summer Springs Hotel, Brooksie. You can phone me up there.
George, why can't I go with you? Just because they don't expect me
Look,
to
it's
come...
a 5-alarm fire all set to go off, and you know it. Summer Springs is going to be hotter than
But
the 4th
nobody knows about you, just the men who rode.
Angel, I'm looking for a guy who poses as respectable, a big-timer who hasn't been identified. And if you were there, I wouldn't be able to duck as fast.
But there's nothing dangerous if nobody knows.
Hey, wait, Mr. Valentine.
Huh? Yeah?
The baggage man pointed you out.
Yeah?
I need your help. I need you a lot. I got a case for you.
Sorry, I'm tied up on one.
My, grandmother's dead.
Oh, that's too bad.
My grandfather killed her. Used an axe.
What?
I'm not interested.
You see, my aunt's insane, and what happened
I doubt
was
if you ever had a grandmother, gorilla boy, or even a mother. Now say it in English and fast, because I'm not going to miss that train.
I got $1,000 here for you to take my case. I could think of one.
Uh-huh. You mean if I don't take the train?
I don't mind. I could tell it to you on the way to Summer Springs.
That's where you think I'm going, huh?
No, just where you think you're going.
So somebody else does know.
Hey, Buster, get out of my way before I miss
stay
that.
away, I'm telling you.
Oh, no, you
George,
don't.
look out!
Yeah, easy. We're attracting attention.
A corpse would attract more.
Who hired you?
$1,000. Trip ain't necessary. Stay home.
Okay, maybe you're right, mister. Too late now anyway. There she goes.
It's a sooty kind of a trip. You wouldn't have enjoyed it.
Uh-huh. So we go count the money?
Sure. My name's Lemuel. You're a smart guy. I thought you'd see the light.
Yeah. I hope you do. So you get to go after all, Angel. Yeah, you get to drop me off in Summer Springs yourself. From the car.
Not much of a hotel, is it?
For a fancy town like this, no more potted palms than usual.
Do I get to come in with you?
Sure. Lemuel kept me off the train, didn't he? Okay, then the more casual, the better.
You mean whoever hired him won't be expecting you to show up now?
I mean, Lemuel isn't in condition to report for a while.
I do not care what the union says about chambermaids. I have an opinion, too, you know. Have you been a clerk for 12 years? Well, have you? Oh, I'm so sorry, sir. Be just a moment.
Oh, no. Finish the phone call.
Now, listen. I don't care how many chambermaids you've known. Do you run a laundry service or a... Oh, hold on, will you? I'm so sorry. Now, what was it?
George Valentine. I've got a reservation.
No, I won't call the manager. He doesn't live here. What was the name, sir?
George Valentine.
Oh, let me see. Yes, he's in his room.
What?
At $350, I told you, not $340. Oh, for heaven's sake, hang on, will you? What's the matter?
Well, I asked...
Oh, yes. It was George Valentine you asked for, wasn't it? Well, he just checked in a few moments ago. Yeah, he's in his room. Oh, I'm so sorry. It's room 419. It's elevated to the right.
But...
Oh, thanks a lot, Buster. Come on, Angel.
You see, my dear fellow, if the chambermaids don't count the towels...
But who is it, George? If somebody took your room...
I don't know, Brooksie. Looks like there's still one step ahead of us, whoever they are. It's essential Lemuel couldn't have revived in time.
Well, whoever the impersonator is in there, he doesn't seem to answer very fast.
Come on. Sure. Of course he's dead. Hey, shut that door.
There's no gun. I don't see
Shut
a
the
gun.
door, will you? He's shot, all right.
George, he's about your same build.
Huh?
Around the same age.
Yeah. There's a briefcase over here under the bed.
It's a sample case, isn't it? The kind salesmen carry?
Neckties. Nothing but neckties.
Look, George, there's a key on the floor next to it.
Hey, let me see. Yeah, to another room. 631. Hey, wait a minute. Here. Card in his wallet. Sure, of course. Harold Stark, Sure Silk Tie Company from Salt Lake City.
Necktie salesman. Only suppose he came in on the train tonight, George.
Yeah, sure. Single guy, looking generally my type. You mean suppose he got picked up by somebody watching the hotel here, somebody expecting me?
So you kill him and put him in your
Wait a
room?
minute. Let it ring.
We ought to talk to the clerk, to the
Now
bellboys.
listen, whoever shot this guy did it and ran. Okay, then so will we.
George, that's crazy.
Is it? I was hired to find out who a big-time collection man is in this town, right? Only whoever it is got one jump ahead of us. I can't even start working until I get out from behind the 8-ball, can I?
Oh, George, that phone, it keeps ringing. Somebody's going to hear it. What are you doing?
I'm putting my own wallet on the body. What do you think?
No.
You take this, guys. Go back to that drive-in on the edge of town. Run a fast telephone check on him. Harold Stark, Salt Lake City.
The clerk knows we're here. He'll keep ringing.
Wait till I grab the neckties. We'll dump them in the alley. And I'll be out from behind the 8-ball if I'm dead, won't I?
George.
I'll be free to find out those guys who hired me. So come on, give the police a chance to find the body of George Valentine.
Yes, come in, Mr.
Valentine, I told you. Your name is Nielsen, isn't it? You sent for me, didn't you?
Yes, of course.
Well, don't look like a ghost, like you're scared.
What do you want with me?
What's that?
Why do you keep your hand in your pocket?
Because I want a cigarette. Look, see? Now all I want is a little talk, Mr. Nielsen. With you and Mr. Vickery and Emmett Wall, the mayor.
You know all of our names.
Well, sure, of course. Here's the letter you wrote me. Oh, hey, I'm beginning to get this. Have you just had a phone call or something?
Yes, I have, as a matter of fact, from Vickery. He happened to be at police court. For once, they work fast in this town. A patrolman has reported the murder of George Valentine.
Okay, sit down. I'll explain if you will.
I have nothing to...
Buster, I'll use your phone. Prove it to you. The police here in the city. I know you've never seen my face, but they can identify my voice for you.
Here, let me have it.
No. Hello?
George?
Oh, yeah. What'd you find out, Brooksie?
I found out that you're crazy. Absolutely crazy.
What?
Darling, I tried to contact those people in Salt Lake, but I can't. I mean, I got the company all right, but nothing about Harold Stark.
Why not?
They've never even heard of him. Nobody by that name has ever sold neckties. Don't you see what you've done? Throw away that wallet, George. The man who was killed was a phony. You can't be somebody that doesn't exist.
All right. I believe you. I agree you're Valentine.
Then you realize how fast I gotta work, Nielsen. I told you what Miss Brooks said. The body was a plant of some kind. This thing gets deeper every minute.
And you haven't even started your investigation.
Whoever the man is I'm after is calling the shots in advance. And you claimed only 3 of you knew about me.
Yes, I understand. You think it's one of us. But But I'm afraid it doesn't make much difference if I do help you now.
What do you mean by that?
Well, Mr. Valentine, I'm not a cowardly man, but I'll admit, when you knocked on the door...
Yeah, sure, you were scared to death. What's that got to do with...
Valentine, I don't think you realize yet just how far behind that 8-ball you are. That same patrolman who found the body also saw a man and woman throw away a briefcase in an alley.
Ah.
You and Miss Brooks. There was identification with the neckties. At the door just now, I thought you were the man every policeman in town is looking for. Harold Stark. He doesn't exist, you say? His description is yours. And you know who you are?
Never mind. I get it. I dug my own grave, didn't I? Yeah. I killed George Valentine.
We'll return to tonight's adventure of George Valentine in just a moment. Here's a true story about a man from Arizona and the trip he was about to make across the Mojave Desert at midnight. He was in Phoenix, bags packed, ready to go, half a tank of gasoline. Glancing at his watch and at the fuel gauge, he thought, well, I probably could get across that desert, but maybe I'd better play it safe. So he drove into a service station and told the man on duty, just fill the tank with your premium gas, but don't take time to check under the hood. Yes, sir, replied the attendant. Just fill the tank with Chevron Supreme. But when he noticed all the luggage, he asked, you sure you don't want me to make sure the water and oil are at the safe level, just in case? All right, but hurry, please. In less than a minute, the attendant was back. Water's fine, sir, but it looks like you have an oil leak, and we better find out what's causing it. Otherwise, I'm afraid you'll run out of oil in the middle of the desert, and that would mean a burned-out engine. A few weeks later, the motorist from Arizona wrote us about this experience, then added, many thanks for keeping me from getting stalled out there in no man's land. You fellows certainly pay attention to details, unquote. Well, car savers like to pay attention to details, for they know it's just plain good business for them to keep your car in top shape and to stop trouble before it starts. They know that customers appreciate the little things, like keeping the battery water at the proper level so you won't have to worry about a feeble battery or a dead one. Car savers also give your battery the hydrometer test, take cell readings, and above all, watch for corrosion, which keeps any battery from delivering its full power. For these extra services and a friendly welcome, drive into any independent Chevron gas station or standard station where they say and mean, we take better care of your car. And now, back to tonight's adventure of George Valentine. It's quite simple. 3 men want you to find out who's been using the little town of Summer Springs as collection headquarters for the city rackets. They want you to do this before the federal grand jury moves in. Well, if your name is George Valentine, you think this might be an interesting case, if you could ever get to work on it. Yes, the trouble so far is in getting out from behind the 8-ball, because as matters now stand, you're wanted by the police for murdering yourself.
Well, Valentine, for once it seems the police wasted no time discovering a mistake, that George Valentine was not killed.
Well, that's nice to know. You mean they re-identified that body I found?
Clarence Prell, up-and-coming accountant. His name's been mixed up in this thing already. He's been making a tremendous amount of money the past few years. It's just possible our big shot is already dead.
Well, why would this man, this accountant, have the identification of Harold Stark on him? Who killed him? Who put it there? Who put him there in my hotel room?
Now, listen to me, Valentine. You can get to work now. You're off the hook. They know it's not your body.
Now, look, I've been in trouble because it wasn't kept secret that you 3 were hiring me. Is that right?
Oh, there you go again. We're honest. Stupid? Yes, but honest. None of us are mixed up in any rackets.
Okay, skip it. But even if the big shot isn't one of you, you're now in the way, aren't you?
What?
Well, maybe I'm wanted by the police, but if the killer with Strong Boys knows about me, he also then knows about you. Yeah. Lock your doors tonight.
Shh. Turn out those lights.
Huh?
A car just stopped out there. I could see the lights blinking.
Take it easy, Nielsen. It's only Miss Brooks. I'll see you later.
Oh, George, sometimes I think you're the 8 ball.
Angel, the heat's on the big shot, whoever he is, a lot more than it's on me. Come on, we're going in here.
Yeah, the drugstore?
Yeah. Got a nickel in your purse?
Yeah. Why don't you go straight to the mayor himself?
Brooksie, I need a little more time to work alone. You're going to give it to me.
What?
The mayor's got his own ideas. I've got mine. But if I don't work fast, a lot of people are liable to get hurt. Hello, operator. I want a policeman. This Mr. Rex will do anything to cover his tracks before a full investigation.
George, what on earth are you doing?
Hey, police, look. I just heard that thing on the radio. I mean that description of that guy and that girl, that Harold Stark with the girl who was dressed... Well, slow down. How can I? I just seen her, the girl, having a soda. Hey, what's the name here? Oh, yeah, Kleshimer's drugstore. She's wearing a brown coat. Hey, you better come and get her quick.
George Valentine of all the dirty tricks.
At least you won't get hurt, Angel. Tell him to look for me any place but the Summer Springs Hotel, room 631. Now, you play 8-ball for a while. $6.31. Key fits all right. Ouch! Where are the lights in this place? Oh, no. How long have you been dead, Baldy? Just about as long as the other guy, I guess, huh? Hey, what's your name? You the real Harold Stark? Are you the... Hey! Hey, where am I? Hey, who in the name of...
Shut up. People in the next room.
Hey. Lemuel.
Yeah. It's a lousy hotel. They let anybody in.
I thought I knocked you out of the picture before once.
We're even. I didn't hit you hard enough either.
Yeah, you're out of condition, Buster. That's bad. You kill that guy?
I was with you and another Tom. Don't talk so loud.
All right. Hey, wait a minute. What are you trying to... Hey, get out of my pocket. What's the idea?
There's a gun in your stomach. Don't argue.
Well, why put a gun in my pocket, too?
It's empty. Don't get your hopes up. Be quiet.
Another wallet, too. If you think you can frame me for killing this guy, whoever he is, you're crazy.
I'm not. Cops don't kill cops.
What?
Can't you tell Flatfeet when you see him? His name's Harold Stark. An eye that got shut. Like you're gonna be.
Oh, so that's it. Yeah, sure, there is a Stark, a detective. Came to town acting like a necktie salesman, huh? Ouch. Let me get in that chair, will you?
Sure. You're fixed. You got everything.
Wait a minute. 2 guns. 2 guns I got in my pocket.
Not so loud. There's 2 men dead, aren't there? You're a bright boy, a real up-and-coming eye. Dead eye.
Yeah, sure. The real Stark dead in this room. That accountant named Prell dead in my room.
So come on, bright boy. Get on your feet.
Yeah, sure will.
Look out. Get away from that...
Hello, anybody.
Yeah, that's better. Here now, talk to the wire. Dead like you are. Now on your feet, like I said.
Hey, listen. The people next door, they've stopped talking. Yeah, they heard me. Look, Strong Brain, you're a sucker. Who do you work for?
I didn't hear nothing.
2 guys have been murdered. First the detective here, then Prell. Somebody's going to swing for it.
Now shut up, like I said.
Hey, what's going on there? Can't people have no privacy? You're listening. That's what you're doing.
Oh, for the love of... Walk, will you? Go on the door.
All right. Plenty of standing room. Don't shove.
Well, what are you listening to? You think you hear something or something? I'm all in there.
Now out the door.
Okay. Just thought you might not want the guy who's coming down the hall to see you.
What?
Oh, it's only the desk clerk. Get back in there.
What's going on here? What in
Valentine! Valentine!
What do you think you're doing?
Come on, get out of the way, fast.
Let go of me, really.
Down here, will you? Okay, he's not going to shoot.
Shoot? What kind of a disturbance is this? This is not the sort of hotel you get... Wait a minute. I've seen you before.
Yeah, you're the guy who gave out my description, I guess.
What? No, I didn't give any description. Oh, you're the laundry man. Oh, no, that's what I was talking about. I remember. You're the... Oh. Well, see, here, there was a mix-up
Come
on
on,
room.
skip it. Just show me the fastest way out.
Get that gun away from
That
me.
big man in there, was there anybody with him when he came into the hotel?
What? Well, no. Yes, I mean, yes. There are several men down the lobby. I don't know who they are. You're wanted by the police. That's all I know.
The back stairs, then. Where are they? Come on.
I won't help a criminal.
Come on, don't argue, friend.
Then all right. Here, duck in here. There are several policemen in the hotel, too. And there are cars at the alley entrance.
You're going to find me a way out, so stop shaking. I didn't kill anybody. The police don't think I did.
Why not?
Now, look, you. I'm just a guy behind the 8-ball, see? There's a big crook in your town, Clarence Prell. You know him?
No.
An accountant. Man in a nice spot to take payoffs coming in from the city. But Prell is dead, so he's not the crook.
What? Oh, for heaven's
Find
sake.
me a way out of here, or people will be wrong. They'll think he was the crook. They'll say he killed a detective named Harold Stark who was on his trail.
Let them say what they want.
They'll say I killed Prell, maybe in self-defense. But I was real smart and collected all the evidence, including the guns. Then poor Valentine, he was on his way to get himself out of trouble with the police when something happened to him.
You're mad. You're worse than the laundry people.
Now, look, Buster, I'm telling you all this so you'll help. It's a frame-up, see? To get rid of 2 private detectives and take the heat off by making Prell look like the big shot. A triple play.
Here we are. Here, give me a hand with the window.
Okay. Only 6 stories up. I forgot my umbrella. I can't jump, Buster.
No. Look, out there, you see? To the side. It's an old fire escape. It hasn't been used since we built the new wing, but it comes down in the service yard. This is the side street.
Yeah?
Well, go on. How much help do you need? Oh, there's no one down there. Here, you see?
Yeah, sure, I see. Little rusty, though, isn't it?
Well, what do you expect, a red carpet?
I expect you to go first. Lead the way.
What?
It just occurred to me it's not so bad being behind an 8-ball. If you've got the cue in your hand.
Mr. Valentine, for the love...
Remember the gun, Buster. Lead the way. Now, tell me, why do you call me Valentine? Why not Prell or Stark? Or any of the other names thrown around tonight?
Well, back there, Lemuel called you Valentine.
How do you know his name?
Well, I'm a hotel clerk. I see lots of people.
And that switchover of rooms today. I don't see how anybody could have done it but the hotel clerk himself.
Well, but what on earth are you talking about?
Human nature. How you and your boy Lemuel found out about my coming here.
How I?
An accountant sees lots of people, sure. But a hotel clerk sees a lot more. Now, who's in a better spot to receive payoff deliveries on the QT than the man behind the desk?
I'm going back.
You're going nowhere. Now, listen, Buster. It had to either be one of my 3 clients or you.
What?
Yeah, so take human nature again. It couldn't be one of them, or why get me in it? But they did write the letter right after a Civic League luncheon.
What do you mean, human nature?
I mean how people mail letters in hotels. In a hotel, you just hand the letter to the clerk to mail, don't you?
Get out of my way.
Oh, no, you don't.
I'm going back.
What's the matter? Don't these rusty stairs go on down there? Do they just fall off in the dark someplace?
That's you who's going to fall off in the dark.
Not even afraid of the gun, are you? You already know it's not loaded. Just evidence to be found on the patsy.
Look out. Don't.
This is where you get racked up, 8-ball.
Back to George Valentine in just a moment. Here's a tip for every Western motorist who enjoys going for a pleasure drive. For real motoring fun, use Chevron Supreme, the gasoline that's balanced to give your car all the important qualities it needs.
Wherever you drive throughout the West, you can count on Chevron Supreme for smooth power and for fast starts and quick warm-up, too. Try Chevron Supreme gasoline at independent Chevron gas stations and standard stations where they say and mean, we take better care of your car.
But, George, how did you get off that fire escape? It was rusty. You would have fallen through. That's why he led you out there. What he expected you to do.
Hey, slow down, will you? How'd you get out of jail, Angel?
Oh, George, please, I want to understand.
Oh, he was a guy, all right, the hotel clerk. Yeah, he kept the job so nobody'd ever guess, as well as because it was such a perfect spot for payoffs. He knew the heat was on when he heard I was coming, and Lemuel couldn't stop me. He had me all set for a double fancy frame.
But that other detective.
Well, the mayor said he wanted to handle things himself, didn't he? Did he know a man he wanted to hire?
Harold Stark. Posing as a necktie salesman.
Yeah, and that accountant had been working with the clerk on the rackets, so he figured he'd make him fall guy. Strictly from desperation, Angel. But it all might have worked.
But you would have died accidentally, fallen and been killed, and that would have been the end of it.
Mm-hmm.
Only how on earth, after you knocked him out, how did you get him off the fire escape?
How did you get out of jail?
Well, you saw him. That big, good-looking policeman.
So what? You said you didn't tell him anything.
No.
Well?
He was very sweet. Well, after a while, there was no reason to hold me. In jail, I mean.
Oh, why, Brooksie.
And, well, why should I tell you if you won't tell me? Good night, Georgie.
Tonight's adventure of George Valentine has been brought to you by Standard Oil Company of California on behalf of independent Chevron gas stations and standard stations throughout the West. Robert Bailey is starred as George, with Virginia Gregg as Brooksie. Let George Do It is written by David Victor and Jackson Gillis and directed by Don Clark. Bill Conrad was heard as Lemuel, Bob Jellison as the clerk, Herb Butterfield as Nielsen, Will Wright as Vickery, and Stanley Farrar as Wall. Music is composed and presented by Eddie Dunstetter, your announcer, John Heaston. Listen again next week, same time, same station, to Let George Do It. Let George Do It is heard overseas through the worldwide facilities of the Armed Forces Radio Service. This is the Mutual Don Lee Broadcasting System.
Welcome back. Well, I love the solution to this case. You know, and it's a classic solution where it's the guy you just don't pay attention to who really and truly is the criminal in the case. Of course, we're left with a slight bit of mystery as to how George was able to get the criminal down off the fire escape. But, you know, it's a slight mystery. You know, I think they decided it'd be better to be, you know, have some cute stuff going on between George and Brooksie. But, it would have been difficult, but not impossible. For me, maybe it'd be impossible. But for George Valentine, I think he could probably, one thing is, you know, if you're going, down a fire escape, hopefully, of course, you've got multiple floors. And so he could have not had too far to take the guy. But regardless, mainly just saved for the tete-a-tete at the end. Another episode, it looks like, William Conrad almost had a permanent job guest starring on this series. It seems like he's on the show every other week. Does a good job. I guess I've watched so many episodes of Cannon, though, I keep thinking of him as Frank Cannon. All right, well, we do have one listener comment before we leave you today. This one comes from, let me go ahead and rearrange this by most recent here. Okay, this one comes from B. Wolf. I love old-time radio detectives and look forward to Adam's commentary. My current favorites are Let George Do It and Johnny Dollar. I enjoy listening to the ads in the old-time shows also. Thanks, Adam, for all the work you put into these shows. Well, thank you very much. That will actually do it for today. We'll be back tomorrow with Sherlock Holmes. And then join us back here again on Wednesday for Let George Do It. In the meanwhile, send your comments to box13@greatdetectives.net. Well, I listen to a lot of old-time radio, even beyond detective shows. And sometimes I just find something that's so interesting that I just have to share. In this case, it was a very amusing piece with Sherlock Holmes.
We are now proceeding down Whitehall. In the far distance is Buckingham Palace. On your right is the Admiralty Arch. And on your left is the famous Scotland Yard you've all read about.
Where's the yard? I don't see any yard.
Dear, don't ask so many questions.
Why, they put a building up on it now, sir. It used to be right there where I'm pointing, and many's the time I've seen Mr. Sherlock Holmes walk across that very yard.
But wasn't he a fictitious character?
He might have been to you, ma'am, but he was very real to me.
The clip we played came from Abroad with the Lockharts, which is one of the very earliest radio series I found. It was first, that particular episode was first broadcast on November the 10th of 1930. It starred Jean and Kathleen Lockhart as a couple heading on vacation to Europe at the wife's insistence, tired of her husband always taking a fishing trip each year. And it's a very charming series, and in this scene they were heading on a tour bus taking a look at the sights in and about London. It's very interesting to have this actor identify, Sherlock Holmes is real. I actually read a survey that showed that 58% of Britons believe that Sherlock Holmes is real. So the sentiment definitely lives on. All right. Well, we have a brand new series of Sherlock Holmes episodes coming up. Same sponsor, same announcer. Same Sherlock Holmes, but a few changes. And we're going to talk about that in just a second. But before we do get started, I do want to encourage you, if you've not already, to pick up a copy of my ebook. All I needed to know, I learned from Columbo. It's a nice light read. We take a look at 12 lessons from the life and career of 7 great detectives of fiction, including Sherlock Holmes, Nero Wolfe, Monk, and Columbo. And it's just a very fun read if you're a fan of mysteries. And it is available for $1.99 as an ebook for your Nook for Barnes & Noble. We actually just sold a couple copies there last week, as well as the Kindle and Sony Reader, Kobo Reader. Still not yet in the Apple Store, but you can also purchase it off of Smashwords.com. Well, there are quite a few changes after the 1947-48 season. One thing I came across from audio-classics.com is they actually compiled Hooper ratings for each season of Sherlock Holmes starting in 1939. They had an older rating I've not heard of, the CAB rating. But the Hooper rating was very big in radio in terms of popularity. And as you might imagine, they really hit their stride in the Hooper rating with Basil Rathbone and Nigel Bruce. In the 8th season, they had a 14.6 Hooper. But most of in every one of the 5 seasons, they were pretty close to or around a 10. The last of the Rathbone Bruce seasons, they ended up at a 10.9. So no wonder they wanted to re-sign Rathbone and Bruce. But of course, Tom Conway took over and the Hooper rating dropped to 8.5. Well, in the first season of John Stanley and Alfred Shirley in the roles of Holmes and Watson, the Hooper number plummeted from 8.5 to 5.3. So it was definitely time for some changes. Alfred Shirley was out as Watson, replaced by Ian Martin, a veteran actor of a lot of radio productions, particularly those set in New York City, such as some of the later Cavalcade of Americas. And the writing changed as well. Edith Meiser, who had been instrumental in bringing Holmes to the United States and to some of the early radio adaptation, was replaced by the tag team of Howard Merrill and Max Elric. And we'll have a little bit on Mr. Merrill after the programming. You'll also notice a couple of different changes to the feel of the show. So I hope you enjoy it. But now we've gone on quite a bit, so we're going to get into today's episode. This is from September 12th of 1948. This is called The Case of the Unwelcome Ambassador.
The makers of Clippercraft Clothes for Men and 1,203 leading retail stores from coast to coast present Sir Arthur Conan Doyle's immortal character, the world's most famous detective, Sherlock Holmes, starring John Stanley. This week's adventure, The Case of the Unwelcome Ambassador.
Really, my dear Watson, you're being most discourteous. We have a guest waiting outside. Fetch him.
But Holmes...
Go on, open the door. Bring him in.
There's hardly any reason for such haste. He can well afford to wait. It happens that our guest is a corpse.
And so once again we visit Dr. John Watson, who is at work on his memoirs.
Ah, Mr. Harris. Well, come in, sir, come in.
Thank you. How's your writing coming along, Dr. Watson?
Oh, splendidly. Sit down, my boy, won't
Thank you very much. Which of the famous Sherlock Holmes cases are you working on now?
Well, it's the case of the Unwelcome Ambassador. A very colorful affair involving a most undiplomatic murder.
I'm very anxious to hear about it, Dr. Watson.
And so you shall. But I am very anxious to hear from you first, Mr. Harris. The fall weather is upon us, and you must make some suggestions for my fall wardrobe.
Why, certainly. Many millions of America's best-dressed men have discovered Clippercraft, acknowledged to be the finest clothing value in America. Here's why. By a voluntary concentration of their enormous buying power, 1,203 of this country's finest independent stores from coast to coast provide Clippercraft's great tailoring plants with the advantages of steady, year-round operation, and pass along to you the savings that result from lowered manufacturing and distribution costs. That's why you're certain of getting more for your money in distinctive styling and skillful tailoring in fabrics of lasting good looks. You'll find an outstanding selection of smart new fall clothes by Clippercraft at the leading store in your community, at the store you can trust. Really expensive-looking Clippercraft suits at only $47.50, with some styles at only $40. Also, Clippercraft sport jackets at only $26.50, and Clippercraft top coats at only $40 and $45. Some with removable zip-in linings at only $47.50 and $52.50. Yes, compare Clippercraft with clothes selling for many dollars more. And now, Dr. Watson, who was the unwelcome ambassador?
This story, Mr. Harris, goes back to the days before my marriage.
when Holmes and I shared 221B Baker Street together. We were returning from a Sarasota recital at St. James Hall. We were approaching our lodging in a hansom. It was rather late in the evening. This is 221B, driver. Driver, I say this is 221B. Holmes, he's passing it. He isn't stopping.
Obviously.
But how can you just sit there and do nothing whatsoever? Driver! Hello up there, driver. Stop at once, I say.
Sorry, Governor.
Either he's kidnapping us or he's insane.
Both fascinating prospects, Watson, so you suppose you regain your composure.
I hope you don't mind, Governor. I was told to... let me see now. To give you this.
What the devil?
Now, careful, Governor. Tain't a salt biscuit that's wrapped in that oilskin. Open her up, why don't you?
All right, let me see. Great Scott. It's a precious stone, a ruby.
Yes, fabulously valuable, my dear Watson. I should say from casual examination that it's the very rarest type. A pigeon's blood ruby, found only in the Mogok stone tract of Upper Burma. Of course, to be certain, one would require instruments.
Who gave this to you, driver?
Oh, please, Governor, you'll only confuse me. Now, let me see now. I'm to say the ruby's for you, Mr. Holmes. It's by way of an invitation to stay in me camp and allow me to drive you to the docks, where you're to board the good ship Java Belle.
Indeed, well, I'd have none of it.
Oh, if you'll allow me to finish, Governor. I'm to say your safety aboard the Java Belle is guaranteed. You're just invited for a bit of a chat.
Oh. And who extends this curious invitation?
That, Governor, I'm not to say.
It's a trap, Holmes. I'm for commanding an about-face.
Not at all. Either our host is a gentleman of fantastic means whose plight is so desperate that he's been obliged to employ the ruby to attract us to his ship, or else he's a remarkably successful criminal, and the ruby is a mere trinket in his bag of loot. I anticipate making his acquaintance with relish. Faster, driver. We'll play your master's game.
Right up that gangway, gentlemen. He's in the cabin what's all lit up on the main deck. You see it?
Thank you, driver. Shall we go aboard, Watson?
I say, it's a sinister-looking vessel, don't you think? There's all the aspects of a pirate ship.
This would be our host's cabin.
Come. Ah, Mr. Holmes and Dr. Watson, you've accepted my invitation. I'm delighted. Be seated, won't you?
Thank you.
Huh? What's that?
I said thank you.
Now, sir, beyond the fact that you've spent considerable time in the tropics, that you've been in London for 6 days, and that you're an exporter of spices, what information do you wish to impart?
How on earth do you know all that?
The shipping page of the Globe listed the Java Belle as arriving 6 days ago, if I recall correctly, out of Macau, the Portuguese East Indies. As for your cargo, the odor of cinnamon aboard is inescapable. And it's clear that you've been in the tropics for some time because you suffer from a slight defect in your hearing, symptomatic of prolonged use of quinine.
You're quite right, Mr. Holmes. I do come from Macau. It is on the South China Sea, separated from China proper by an ancient wall. There you may see Maharajas of India and jeweled countesses of France mingling in its twisted streets with riffraff and scum from 100 ports. It is the most lawless city on earth. It's a legend.
I imagine your problem concerns Macau?
It does, sir. My problem concerns the newly arrived ambassador to England from Macau, Senor Rui.
Well, what of him, Mr.
Mr. Edwards, Watson. The Globe was also conscientious enough to list the owner of the Java Belle.
Mr. Holmes, the ambassador is about to be murdered.
What? Oh, how do you know?
There is a delicate political situation in Macau, Dr. Watson. Fanatic extremists would benefit greatly if the ambassador were to die. I have heard rumors that they have dispatched emissaries here to London to carry out the unpleasant task.
And you've sent for me to prevent the crime?
Exactly. If the ambassador should die, there would be an upheaval in the Indies. I should lose control of my export business, an immeasurable loss. You may consider that ruby a gesture on my part, Holmes. Keep it with my compliments. And besides, you may name your own fee. I have but one proviso.
Pray continue.
Our understanding must be absolutely confidential. That's why I had you brought here. I did not want to be seen entering your flat. It would add to the unfortunate rumors already circulating in London about the ambassador.
Are you personally acquainted with him?
Oh, we've met, social occasions, tea in Hong Kong, military ball in Ceylon, that sort of thing.
What is his address?
2 Lancaster Gate.
Does the ambassador know of the threat to his life?
Certainly, but he refuses a bodyguard. Deeply ingrained sense of Oriental fatalism.
When did you last see him?
Oh, it's been months. 3 at least. I take it you'll accept the case, Holmes?
Definitely.
Then, if and when you discover the would-be killer, please turn him over to Scotland Yard before revealing his identity to me.
By Jove, that's a strange request.
Dr. Watson, I feel the man who would deprive me of my industrial empire should suffer. But I want him to suffer legally. If he were to fall into my hands personally, I am a collector of strange Oriental objects. Some of them include torture devices beyond Western man's imagination. I could not resist using them.
Now, my dear Watson, I shall have a pipe and consider.
Oh, dear. Visitors at this hour?
Welcome visitors, Watson. If they arrive at this late hour, it must be on an intriguing mission. Oh, remind me to enter Mr. Edwards in my index.
Edwards. I don't care for that man, Holmes. The ship bespeaks the man, you know, and the Java Belle is a saucy, wicked lady of the sea.
Come in.
Mr. Holmes.
Let me tell him, Philip. Mr.
Easy,
Holmes.
my dear girl, easy. Suppose we begin with a proper introduction.
Yes, but we're desperate. We can't wait.
This is my friend and colleague, Dr. Watson.
How do you do?
Mr. Holmes,
My dear young lady, if you'll remove your cape, the mud on it's dripping to the floor, and Mrs. Hudson, our housekeeper, will be furious in the morning.
We mustn't lose a second.
Your coat, sir, it's in the same deplorable condition as the young lady's.
Oh, very well. I'm Philip Randall. This is Edith Norton. I'm secretary to Ambassador Ruiz from Macau.
Aha.
Edith and I were out for the evening.
Where?
The theater. Then we decided to walk to her place through Regent's Park. We were by the lake.
And we saw a body floating in the lake. It was horrible.
I recognized the face of the corpse. It was the ambassador. I refused to send for the police.
Philip's afraid the ambassador's death will create international complications. He didn't think we could persuade Scotland Yard to keep the awful news a secret.
The body was floating close to the edge of the lake. I could reach it. We pulled it on shore.
We hailed a cab. Philip bribed the cabbie to keep his mouth shut. We managed to place the dead body in the hansom.
Where is the corpse now?
Propped up in the cab, right outside this door.
Good heavens.
How very crude. Fetch him inside. It's rather chilly tonight, and we have a nice warm fire here. Watson, give young Randall a hand. Bring the late ambassador in here where I may have a look at him.
Come along, Randall. We two can manage. But hurry, you can't just leave him there.
I must apologize for my disheveled appearance, Mr. Holmes. May I remove my hat and straighten my hair?
Certainly. Did you know the late ambassador, Miss Norton?
Yes, I'd been out with him a few times.
Was he fond of you?
Yes.
Terribly?
Very.
Propose?
Oh, no.
Oh, you have a piece of confetti in your hair.
Here?
That's it. And a speck of mud on your neck. That's better. How did you regard the ambassador?
Why, I adored Juan. He was a darling.
Does young Randall stand to profit by his employer's death?
Well, I don't want to place Philip in a difficult position, but there was talk that the ambassador was somehow preventing Philip from receiving a vital diplomatic post.
According to the social columns, Miss Norton, which I read solely to remain au courant, and with extreme distaste, the late ambassador was not your sole darling.
I resent that, Mr. Holmes. If a girl cannot be popular without having people...
Here's the body. Easy, Randall.
Yes.
Place the ambassador in my armchair. It's most comfortable.
Ah, that's it.
Handsome, wasn't he?
Really, Holmes, your macabre sense of humor
Yes.
is...
Bullet wound in his back. He was shot, then pushed into the lake. Watson, the bullet wound of entrance is at the 6th left intercostal space. Path of the bullet, oblique, downward.
Mr. Holmes, what shall we do?
Since it's extremely late, Miss Norton, if I were you, and I'd ask my escort to see me home.
But the body, we...
Our lodging is not what I would term extravagantly commodious. But I believe we can accommodate the cadaver as a guest, temporarily.
Shall we come tomorrow? How will we know what...
You must be exhausted, Miss Norton. Good night. Good night, Mr. Randall.
Mr. Holmes, if you'd only let us know
Good
what...
night.
Well, I must say you might have handled the two youngsters with less effrontery, Holmes.
We haven't time for the amenities.
Randall,
I beg your pardon.
Did you forget something?
No. Edith's gone downstairs. I just stole back because I have a suggestion. It's about a man named Jack Singh.
And why are you telling us about him?
Well, he knew the ambassador quite well. He's an incredible chap, a mixture of Chinese, Malay, British. He spent a good deal of time in Macau at the gambling tables.
Where is this Singh?
In Limehouse. He operates a gambling spot there. There was talk of a wager he'd made on the mathematical chances of the ambassador's being assassinated. You might look into it, Mr. Holmes. Well, I must run. Good night.
Now, why would young Randall want to keep Miss Norton from hearing that?
You're wasting time in idle speculation, Watson.
Well, perhaps. Holmes, why are you putting on your coat?
Because we're off to Limehouse, Watson. I must meet this gentleman who equates mathematics with death.
Well, Dr. Watson, Jack Singh sounds like a very intriguing suspect. There should be a wealth of clues in visiting him in Limehouse.
Should there, Mr. Harris?
Well, I may be wrong about that. Of course, I'm always right about another subject, though, Doctor.
And from that sparkle in your eye, Mr. Harris, I deduce that you're about to discuss your favorite subject. And a favorite of mine, too. Clippercraft clothes.
That's right, Dr. Watson. There's no mystery about this country's most sensational clothing value. You see, there's a great big American idea behind Clippercraft. The famous Clippercraft plan. Now, this plan gives you the benefit of group purchasing because it concentrates the vast buying power of 1,203 of this country's leading stores from coast to coast. It gives you the opportunity of purchasing truly fine Clippercraft clothes at your local independent store in which you enjoy really friendly, courteous service. You know how much that means when you're buying clothes. And Clippercraft clothes are correctly cut and tailored of superb long-wearing materials. And the savings. Fine Clippercraft suits cost only $47.50 with selections at $40, too. Clippercraft topcoats cost only $40 and $45. Featured are several models with removable zip-in linings at only $47.50 and $52.50. And Clippercraft sport jackets are only $26.50. That's why men who know insist on Clippercraft clothes. So be sure to visit the Clippercraft store in your city.
These leading stores in the metropolitan area are proud to add their names to Clippercraft in your suits, topcoats, and sport jackets. In Manhattan, Saks 34th, Broadway at 34th. John Wanamaker Men's Stores, Broadway at 8th and 67 Liberty Street. In Brooklyn, Abraham and Strauss. In Newark, New Jersey, Boulevard Men's Shop, Kresge Newark. And in Jamaica, the B&B Clothes Shop, 16408 Jamaica Avenue.
And now, shall we return to our story, Mr. Harris?
Oh, by all means, Dr. Watson.
Very well, then. Holmes and I dashed into a hansom and soon reached Limehouse. The streets were too crowded for a horse and carriage, so we were obliged to go the last portion of the way to Jack Singh's gambling establishment on foot. I say, Holmes, what sort of celebration is this?
Limehouse is celebrating the Chinese New Year, Watson.
This confetti gets all over one's clothes. The blasted noise is deafening.
We shall escape it in a moment. There's the building that houses Jack Singh's gambling establishment.
Yes, so it is. And Lord knows what will become of us in there. It's probably swarming with criminals. And murderers.
I regret the necessity of disturbing your game, Mr. Singh.
Not at all, Mr. Holmes. I am delighted that you have brought the news of the ambassador's death. It is magnificent news.
Well, I must confess, Mr. Singh, you have a curious attitude. Not even a trace of regret.
Dr. Watson, my interest in the ambassador was purely professional.
What was the nature of the wager you made regarding his death?
I heard rumors that fanatics were planning to kill him. So I took a chance. I have wagered on the turn of a card. Why should I not wager on a twist of fate? I visited Lloyd's.
Oh, yes, and you purchased assassination insurance, I venture to say.
Exactly.
What on earth is assassination insurance?
The policy of Lloyd's, my dear Watson. The original policy was issued on the life of Napoleon Bonaparte. Lloyd's underwrites the sudden death of any illustrious personage as a protection to businessmen who might suffer substantial losses.
I paid a premium on the life of the ambassador. Now he is dead. I have won another wager. I have again guessed the correct number on the wheel.
From your highly pleased demeanor, Mr. Singh, I should say you've won a gigantic sum.
I have. I am quite frank about it.
Mr. Singh, when did you last see the ambassador?
10 days ago.
Thank you. I have no further questions.
Good night, gentlemen. You may use that side door going out.
Goodbye, Mr. Singh.
Where to now, Holmes?
To the ambassador's residence.
But young Randall said the place is deserted. There won't be a soul there.
Precisely why we shall pay it a visit, Watson.
Randall told you no one's at home here at the ambassador's, Holmes.
Then we're obliged to enter the ambassador's home in unorthodox fashion, Watson.
And how might that be?
The window. These absurd English window fasteners won't delay us. This way. Shall we try this window? Superb. Opens in a jiffy. Up she goes. After me, Watson. Leap over the sill. So.
Righto. There we are.
I wish to see the ambassador's study first. This way. Tiptoe, Watson, tiptoe.
Sorry.
This is the study. Here is the ambassador's desk. His papers. Like that small lamp, Watson.
Wait a minute, Holmes. Shh. I hear someone.
Uh-huh. The late diplomat has another visitor at the front door.
Who could it be?
Step behind this clothes horse with me. Good.
I can see the front door. Someone stepped in. Tall, thin chap. He's lighting a candle. Wait a minute. He's holding the candle toward his face. Why, it's young Randall.
Quiet, Watson. I have already examined those papers, Randall. You'll find them rather dull.
Holmes, shall I send for the police, Holmes?
No. Don't do that. Please. Really, I haven't done anything. I just came back to...
You were the ambassador's secretary. Therefore, you made use of your pass key to return and have a look at his private papers. Papers he undoubtedly never allowed you to see.
Yes, I was hoping to find out who killed him on my own.
Confound it, man. It appears to me as though you killed him.
But I didn't, I tell you. Why don't you ask Edwards who killed him?
Oh, no. You can't avoid suspicion by accusing someone else,
But
Randall.
I told you all I know. Edith Norton and I found the body in Regent's Park Lake. I had not seen the ambassador for a week. He had taken a week to relax. Edith told me that she had not seen him in a few days herself.
A few days?
Yes.
Are you quite certain Miss Norton stated she had not seen the ambassador for a few days?
Quite. 2 days, she said.
Watson, have you your army revolver?
Yes.
You'll have need of it.
Oh, where are we off to now?
Back to Limehouse. The pieces of the puzzle fit together neatly. But we must hurry. If we're too late, Jack Singh will have killed Edith Norton. I'd hoped by now the Chinese would have finished celebrating their New Year. You think we'll get through this crowd in time, Holmes?
We must, Watson.
That poor girl will be dead, and we shall be to blame.
This corner. It's not far now. Your revolver ready?
Yes, ready, Holmes. I'd keep up with you, but the old wound, you know, my leg.
This is the side entrance.
Someone is purposely not answering. Knock again, Holmes.
Open! Open, I say! Open or we shall shoot the lock off. Holmes. Yes, Mr. Singh. Good evening, Miss Norton.
Oh, Mr. Holmes, I'm
Mr.
so
Singh,
glad
I'm obliged to detain you with this revolver until we fetch the police to charge you with the murder of the ambassador.
Oh, not quite, Watson. Actually, the ambassador was killed by you, Miss Norton.
Why, that's preposterous.
Go on, Holmes.
When you first arrived at Baker Street, Miss Norton, there was almost imperceptible bit of confetti in your hair.
What of it?
Exactly. The question occurred to me, of course. I had the answer when I first visited Limehouse tonight. The Chinese have filled the air with confetti. You remarked about it, Watson. Therefore, I knew Miss Norton must have been in Limehouse earlier this evening, before her engagement with young Randall, since he said they'd only attended the theater.
And so you knew, Holmes, that she was in this with Mr. Singh.
That doesn't prove that I killed the ambassador.
Patience, dear girl. Everyone who could have done away with the ambassador said they hadn't seen him in at least a week. In one case, not for 3 months. But you claim to have seen him just 2 days ago, Miss Norton.
I did.
That's not the truth. It's utterly impossible for you to have seen the ambassador alive in the past 48 hours. I believe Dr. Watson will support the authenticity of my medical information in this instance. The ambassador's body was found floating in Regent's Park Lake, and it requires a minimum of 5 days in the water for a human body to become sufficiently buoyant to float.
You have a Holmes.
We will collect a great deal from Lloyd's, Mr. Holmes. If you would forget this, you might...
Yes. And you, Mr. Singh. You purchased a weighty premium guaranteeing the ambassador's life. But you wanted to wager to be a certainty. You could not commit the crime yourself. You required the services of someone familiar with the ambassador's habits here in London. Someone who knew him intimately, who would be with him alone and often. So you made arrangements with Miss Norton, a ruthlessly ambitious young lady who's striven desperately to marry into wealth.
Why, of all the nuts...
I hurried here because I realized that now that the money is forthcoming, Mr. Singh might decide to do away with you, dear girl. Why should he share it now the work is done?
Keep your hand out of that drawer, Mr. Singh. Don't reach for your gun.
Jack! Jack!
Worthy marksmanship, Watson. Merely a shoulder wound, Mr. Singh. Try not to look as though you'd been mortally wounded. You too, Miss Norton, that expression of despair is most unbecoming. I suggest you save your melodramatic performances. Scotland Yard will provide the perfect stage for them soon enough, with a well-constructed gallows. Oh, I did forget. A Happy New Year, Mr. Singh. A Happy New Year, Miss Norton.
Well, Dr. Watson, the case of the unwelcome ambassador was very intriguing. Now, may we have advance information about next week's adventure?
Mr. Harris, I've called it The Black Guardsman of Braddock Castle. I can see him now, standing on the north tower of the castle, black against the red sun, an axe on his shoulder, looking down and laughing at his work.
What work?
Murder, Mr. Harris. Murder.
Well, we shall certainly be knocking at the door of your study next week, Dr. Watson, to see the Black Guardsman at work. The makers of Clippercraft Clothes and 1,203 leading stores from coast to coast have brought you another in the new series of broadcasts featuring the world's most famous detective, Sherlock Holmes. Our stories are based upon the character Sherlock Holmes, created by Sir Arthur Conan Doyle, and the program is produced and directed by Basil Lochran. Sherlock Holmes is played by John Stanley, Dr. Watson by Ian Martin. This week's story was written by Howard Merrill. Special music by Albert Berman. If you don't know your Clippercraft dealer, write Clippercraft, 200 Fifth Avenue, New York City. Be sure to listen next week to Sherlock Holmes in The Black Guardsman of Braddock Castle. This is Cy Harris speaking for Clippercraft Code. This is the Mutual Broadcasting System. In a moment, you'll hear Behind the Front Page with Gabriel Heater.
Eastern Airlines now ready for departure.
Dependable airliners, dependable pilots. That's double dependability. Eastern Airlines dependability. Fly Eastern, tried and proven over hundreds of millions of passenger miles.
The present temperature 81 degrees. The Bamberger Broadcasting Service. This is WOR, New York.
Welcome back. Well, I have to appreciate Holmes rushing to save the murderers to make sure that the government gets to go through the whole process of the execution. But seriously, I like this episode a lot better than some of the episodes from last season. I thought this was a pretty well written story. The episode, at the end, it mentioned Howard Merrill as the writer. And Merrill was a bit of a prodigy. And he made it on Ripley's, believe it or not, according to the New York Times, his obituary from 2002. He appeared in 58 silent films before he was 11 and made 487 radio broadcasts on 38 shows before he was 14. And he just had a very rich writing career. He did not have a ton of mystery writing credits in the latter part of his life. But in the 1940s, he was actually pretty big on doing some mysteries. He wrote for, interestingly enough, Leonidas Witherell, which is a series that we'll be hearing in about 6 weeks on Tuesdays after Pete Kelly's Blues is over. And he also wrote for the original Abbott Mysteries, not the Adventures of the Abbotts we played from 1955, but the 1940s series, which is for all intents and purposes believed to be lost to the ages. So he did... when he came to the era of television, he wrote for You Are There, one of the most interesting concept shows. We have the radio version of it, where they do news programs from history, as if, say, CBS News were reporting, say, at the signing of the Declaration of Independence. He wrote for that series. He also wrote for a lot of comedies, The Odd Couple, Dick Van Dyke Show, Gilligan's Island. So a very astute producer and creator, and I think we will be in good hands with the stories he's going to provide us. All right, well, we do want to get to some listener comments real quick. A. Pauly writes in, listen to podcasts while I'm working. Of all the old-time radio podcasts, OTR Detectives is my favorite, and Sherlock Holmes my favorite detective. I enjoy listening to the tidbits of information at the end of the show. Well, thanks so much. I appreciate you listening out there. One final note, particularly for Sherlock Holmes fans, I think you'll be pleased with that. For this month's video theater for the month of June, we're going to be bringing you another episode of the Ronald Howard Sherlock Holmes series. It'll be The Case of the Pennsylvania Gun, And it'll be the first of 3 episodes of this classic series we'll be bringing you this summer. So I think that there's plenty to be excited about, and I hope you will enjoy that. Join us back here tomorrow for yours truly, Johnny Dollar, and then be with us again next Thursday for another episode of Sherlock Holmes. Well, it's time now for today's episode of yours truly, Johnny Dollar. This episode is called The Nelson Matter.
For your listening enjoyment, as Johnny Dollar.
Martin, Johnny.
Hello, Mr. Martin.
Got a job for you.
Fine.
Man named Carl Nelson is insured with our company. He was killed.
How?
Shot to death. Got a police record. Small-time hoodlum. Beneficiary is a woman named Gilkison. Maud Gilkison.
Uh-huh.
He disappeared. Police think it probably has something to do with Nelson's death. Want to see what you can find out?
Sure.
All right. Get down to New York as soon as you can. Contact Lieutenant Korchak at 11th Precinct Homicide. We'll give you all the help we can.
I'll get right on it.
You know, many great men have attained the highest office in our land, the presidency of the United States. Can you guess the name of this man? He was third vice president to become president through the death of the man holding that office. A man of limited education, he was taught to read and to write by his wife. In 1862, when Tennessee threatened to secede from the Union, he was appointed military governor of occupied Tennessee by President Lincoln. As president, by a threat of war, he stopped Napoleon's attempt to seize control of Mexico, and his administration saw the beginning of the Reconstruction era. A senator before he became president, he was re-elected to the Senate after his presidential term of office was over. If you don't have his name by now, here are 2 more clues. During his administration, Alaska was purchased from Russia, and Nebraska became a state. Who was he? Andrew Johnson, 17th President of the United States. His life is part of your American heritage.
Expense account submitted by Special Investigator Johnny Dollar to Home Office, Columbia All Risk Insurance Company, Hartford, Connecticut. The following is an accounting of expenditures during my investigation of the Nelson matter. Expense account item 1, $15.36, train fare and incidentals between Hartford and New York City. I arrived at 2:30 in the afternoon. After registering at the hotel, went directly to the 11th Precinct Police Station, where I introduced myself to Lieutenant Korchak of Homicide.
How much does your company insure the Frog for?
The Frog?
Nelson. He was called the Frog. He looked like one.
Oh? He was insured for $10,000.
And Maud Gilkison gets the money.
Do you think she had something to do with the killing?
No, I think she knows something about it.
Any theories about why he was killed?
Nothing definite. Frog was a hood, long record, did time twice, been in every racket from the numbers to stick-ups. Now, you don't generally get anything definite on a killing like this. Some of the boys wanted him dead. Who or why is hard to tell. He's been associated with Ellis Hartje for the past year or so.
That's pretty big company.
Yeah, Hartje's about as big as they come. Probably got unhappy with the Frog and had him eliminated.
Have you questioned Hartje?
Sure, but just a matter of routine. If Hartje had something to do with it, it's going to be tough to prove.
Well, I guess the first thing to do is find the beneficiary, Maud Gilkison.
Well, that's not going to be easy. We've done a lot of looking.
Well, I got a friend in town that just might be of some help.
Do I know him?
Probably, but I'd rather not mention who it is. He doesn't get along very well with cops.
Not many people do.
My friend's got a king-size allergy. But for the right people and the right price, he can be very informative.
Well, good luck, Dollar.
Thanks. I'll let you know if I come up with anything. Expense account item 2, $2.35 cab fare from the precinct to Skid Row and Het's Hilarity, a saloon that always looked as though it wanted to collapse when the sun hit it too hard. Inside, I found Wilbur Truitt sitting at the almost deserted bar, sipping muscatel through a glass straw. Hello, Wilbur.
Bucko!
You are indeed a sight for sore eyes. And, Bucko, my eyes are sore. Pull up a Hefferwhite and rest yourself.
Can I buy you a drink?
Oh, noble prince, a king among kings. You come in the nick. Can you buy me a drink? If it were not so early in the day and my spine not yet limber, I would bend and kiss your feet.
I'll just take a rain check.
Innkeeper, a flagon of your best amber tonic. Oh, Bucko, I've missed you. Do you realize what with economic conditions such as they are, that your absence has been the bane of my existence? Goodwill is a thing of the past.
Wilbur.
I once looked upon mankind with a warm smile and a kind heart. But I find it difficult to keep from becoming a complete cynic. People are pinching pennies completely out of shape. Soon the exchequer will be filled with a gigantic mass of unrecognizable copper. Why, a year ago I was averaging as much as 50 cents a day. A whole bottle.
Maybe it's your pitch.
My pitch? Sir, my pitch is a thing of beauty. An excursus of cogent puissance. A compassionate discourse on human suffering.
Okay.
My pitch would tear the heart out of Mephistopheles himself.
Wilbur.
Yes, Bucko.
Where can I find Maud Gilkerson?
You know why my eyes are sore, Bucko?
No. Why are your eyes sore, Wilbur?
I had to brave the morning sun. Things had become so desperate, I pawned my dark glass.
Oh, I'm sorry.
If things don't improve, I may have to part with my glass straw. The only sure method of deriving substance when in the throes of the shade.
Maud Gilkerson is worth a bottle.
Granted. In fact, I'd venture to guess that the lady is worth 2 bottles?
You're probably right.
I'll have to call her.
I'm staying at the Yorkshire.
She may not want to see you.
Tell her I've got 10,000 for her.
I beg your pardon.
Tell her the frog left a $10,000 insurance policy, and she's the beneficiary.
Good Lord. Perhaps I was wrong. There are still a few good deeds left in the world.
Sure. I just gave you 2 quarts worth. Expense account item 3. $2.60 for a cab back to the hotel, where I went up to my room and smoked a half a dozen cigarettes while I waited for Wilbur Truitt to call. Around 4:30 in the afternoon, the phone finally rang. Johnny Dollar.
Bucko?
Yeah, Wilbur?
I finally contacted the party. She's not happy.
Did you tell her about the insurance?
The first words out of my mouth. But it seems Mr. Nelson's insurance is not enough to bring color to her cheeks and a smile to her ashen lips.
What does she want?
Some insurance of her own.
What do you mean?
She's hiding because her life's in danger. She has no money to leave town. She'll make a deal with you.
Go on.
Enough money to leave the country.
You said town.
A logical progression. The town first, then the country. Believe me, Bucko, her plight is worth considering.
What'll she give me in exchange for the money?
That is her own personal secret, but she told me to tell you it's worth every cent.
All right.
Go to 107 River Street, the last room at the back of the hall. Tell her Wilbur sent you.
Right. Thanks, Wilbur. I put on my hat and coat, crossed the room, and opened the door to go out into the hall. But I didn't make it. There, standing on the other side of the door, about to knock, were 2 ugly-looking men dressed in loud jackets.
Your name, Dollar?
Yeah? Mind if we come in? What'd happen if I did?
We'd come in.
That's what I thought.
Then why'd you ask?
I make little bets with myself.
I want to talk with you for a few minutes, Dollar. Okay. What are you doing in New York?
It's a nice town.
Want some advice?
Not especially.
Make a little bet with yourself. You're going to get it anyway.
I'm a lap in front of you.
Then here it is. When Bert asks you a civil question, give him a civil answer. Okay.
Ask me a civil question, Bert.
What are you doing in New York?
It's a nice town.
Oh! Why, you...
Hold it.
You just belch again.
With a broken arm?
You're pretty tough, huh?
All in how you look at it. If breaking his arm is being tough, then that's the best name for it.
Okay. We don't want any trouble.
That's a funny line.
I won't ask you no more questions.
That'll save some time.
I'm just going to tell you. Lay off the Nelson killing. Understand?
Yeah. You said lay off the Nelson killing.
Good boy. Because if you keep nosing around, somebody will just have to come down and investigate the dollar killing. Understand?
Yeah. You said somebody will just have to come down and investigate the dollar killing.
Fine. Now that you understand, we'll be going.
Nice meeting you both, informally, like this. Expense account item 4, $3.25 for another cab that took me down to 107 River Street. The address was an old 2-story frame house that faced the water. I went in and walked down the dark hall to the back room.
Who is it?
Wilbur sent me.
What's your name?
Dollar.
Come in.
Are you Maud Gilkerson?
Yeah. Wilbur said you'd make a deal.
That's right. But I want to know what I'm getting in return.
Look, Sonny, take my word for it. You're getting more than you're paying for. How much did you bring?
I got a couple of hundred.
Couple of hundred?
That's all I had out. If you want more, I'll have to get it.
Sonny, I gotta get out of the country.
This is enough to get you out of town. If what you've got is worth it, I'll send you the rest.
Not on your life. When I leave this room, nobody's ever going to hear from old Maud again.
You've got $10,000 coming from Nelson's insurance policy.
How long will it take to get it?
Well, that depends. First, I've got to report on Nelson's death.
I gotta get out of here as soon as I can. Another day or so, they'll find me.
Well, it'll take at least 3 weeks before...
3 weeks? Tell me if I stay here, I'll be buried in 3 weeks.
What are you scared of?
Dying. I don't like the idea.
I don't blame you.
How soon can you get me some more money?
How much more?
500.
What am I buying?
I'm not telling you anything until I get the money.
Okay, then we'll just forget it.
Wait a minute. I'm not trying to be tough, but what I got is too hot to go around shooting my face off about. How do I know if I tell you that you won't take it to the cops?
You don't?
Oh, Wilbur said I could trust you.
That's right.
Okay. I'll tell you. But give me the 200 on account.
There you are.
Okay, thanks. You want a drink?
No, thanks.
Mind if I have one?
Go ahead.
I don't usually take this stuff, but I need it. Frog left me 10,000, huh?
That's right.
Nice guy. Nasty disposition, but he was okay. You didn't know him, huh?
No.
Well, he's been with the outfit about a year now.
The outfit?
Boss Harchie.
Ellis Harchie.
Yeah. The frog done pretty well for himself.
Until lately.
Yeah, he always worried they'd hit him in the head. He was always planning they shouldn't. You know how it is with small guys like the frog. You never know when something goes wrong, and the outfit sends word to hit you in the head. Frog always worried about getting hit in the head. But he was smart.
While he was alive.
Yeah. He figured as long as he was smart like he was, he'd fix it so Harchie would never be able to hit him. Frog was in on most of the stuff Harchie's been setting up in this town. Not big in it, you know, but in it. And he kept his eyes open.
Found out too much and they killed him for it?
Yeah, but it wasn't only what he found out. It was what he collected.
Collected?
Enough evidence to send Harchie and his boys away for 100 years. Maybe the chair even.
Did Harchie know it?
Sure. Frog told him when he found out he was hot. He told Harchie if he got killed, the stuff would go to the DA.
And you've got it?
I got it.
Why didn't you give it to the DA?
Well, even if they send Harchie up, he's got friends. I'd be dead before he went to trial.
You want another 500?
And that's dirt cheap, especially when the dirt's liable to be in my face.
How long do I have to get it?
Oh, just as soon as you can. Like I said, I ain't got much longer. You found me, and you ain't got connections like Harchie. Oh, they'll find me.
I'll have the 500 in an hour.
Okay. I'll make arrangements. Wait a second. Here.
What is it?
Well, what does it look like? It's a key. You've been okay with me, so I'll trust you. It's a key to a locker in Grand Central, number 415. That's where the package is.
Mind if I cut in to say something, fellows? It won't take too long, since a word to the wise is sufficient. And in the English language, there is one word which is important to just about everyone in the world. That word is security. Security has several different meanings, however. Usually, we think of it in connection with the protecting of our military installations and defense industries. But it means more than that. There is a security which applies to every man, woman, and child in America. The security which comes from being in good health, having a good education, and being well taken care of in case things get a little too tough to handle by oneself. This kind of security is the problem of the President's newest cabinet member, the Secretary of Health, Education, and Welfare. This department ties together the work of several governmental agencies. First, there is the United States Public Health Service, which strives to make certain that the general health of the people in our country is in the best of condition. Then there is the Food and Drug Administration, which guarantees that the food we eat is pure and safe to eat. The Social Security Board, which takes care of old people, children, and the blind who need assistance, also comes under the Department of Health, Education, and Welfare, as does the United States Office of Education. This office does research on the educational possibilities, changes, and opportunities, and passes on its information to the various state boards of education. As you can see, the Department of Health, Education, and Welfare is one of the most important agencies in our government, assuring us, as it does, of a normal and healthy way of life.
And now, with our star, John Lund, we bring you the second act of Yours Truly, Johnny Dollar. After Mort Gilkerson gave me the key to the locker in Grand Central, I left the old house on River Street and started back for town. It was getting dark and there were no cabs in that section, so I headed west for the busy traffic. I'd only gone about 100 yards when a car pulled away from the curb about a half block behind me. A big black car with the lights off. I thought about the key in my pocket and the evidence in the locker that would send the biggest hoodlum in the country away for life. I had to get rid of the key before they caught up with me. I turned a corner, and there, a few feet in front of me, was a blind man. A beggar sitting with his legs folded, and on his lap a tin cup with a stack of pencils.
Bless you.
Thanks. I'm going to need it.
Hold it, Dollar.
Well, good evening.
Get in the car. Get in. In the back seat.
Just don't take advice, do you, Dollar? You didn't say anything about taking a walk.
I told you to lay off the Nelson killing.
Who says I didn't?
You dug up my guilt.
Who?
Oh. I told you. When Bert asks you a civil question,
give him a civil answer. Okay. So I dug up Mort Gilkerson. So what?
What'd she give you?
A lot of double talk. She gave me nothing.
I think you're lying. But we let a couple of the boys off to talk to her. They'll find out.
What happens in the meantime?
We drive around while the goon searches you. Then we go see someone who wants to have a little talk with you. Okay, goon. Search him. Get down on the floor.
Is that your name? Goon?
Get down there.
I should have guessed.
What?
Oh, nothing. While Bert drove us around, the goon made me strip down to my socks while he searched my clothes. When he didn't find what he was looking for, he swatted me across the back of the neck, told me to get dressed. Then Bert drove us across town to a big apartment house that overlooked the river. Bert parked in the basement garage, and I was led into an elevator that took us to the penthouse. Ellis Hargy, the czar of the underworld, looked up from his evening paper.
This is Dollar, boss. Did he find Mort? Yeah. Ernie and Frank are with him. Yeah. Well, sit down, Mr. Dollar.
All right.
Bert told me he and the gun paid you a little visit this afternoon, huh?
If you can call that a little visit. Does the goon get rough? Don't tell me he can do something else.
You kind of fresh, huh?
I'm ripe enough to know I don't like getting pushed around.
Sometimes you gotta take a pushing around to understand things.
I don't take a pushing around from you or anyone else, Archie.
You think you got a choice?
Not at the moment, no.
If I want you to take a beating, you take one.
I'll make up for it.
You ain't making up for anything. Now, you gotta understand, I'm running things, see? You ain't gonna say nothing about what happens or what don't happen. So you just try and relax and take what comes, huh? You cooperate. It's gonna be nice.
He didn't have anything on him.
Nothing, huh?
I went over him good. He didn't have nothing.
She tell you where it is, Dollar?
What?
You know what I'm talking about. Whatever it is the frog left for Maud Gilkerson.
I found Maud Gilkerson to tell her Nelson left her $10,000.
She didn't say nothing about me.
Not a thing. She didn't say anything but thanks and get out.
He was in with her for about 10 minutes.
So it took her 10 minutes to say thanks and get out, huh?
Look, what do you think she said to me?
That's what I want you to tell me, Dollar.
How can I tell you something when there's nothing to tell? I located Maud Gilkerson. Tell her that...
Okay. You said that.
I don't know what you're so worried about me for. For an old dame like Maud. What can we do to a big man like you?
Make me mad. Hello. Yeah. Uh-huh. All right, take care of it. Yeah. Now, that was Ernie.
Maud, tell him anything?
Yeah. She told him that she gave Dollar a key. Is that right, Dollar? She gave you a key? She told him she gave him a key to a locker in Grand Central Station. Is that right, Dollar? She told him the locker number was 415. The stuff was in a locker. Is that right, Dollar?
Do me any good to say no?
No.
The goon searched me.
He didn't have no key on him, boss.
All right. All right, where is it, Dollar?
I haven't got it.
Take him somewhere and find out what he done with it.
Let's go, Dollar. You're making a mistake, Archie.
Nice meeting you, Mr. Dollar.
The goon and Bert took me back down in the elevator, hustled me into the car, and drove me back across town to a warehouse in the Bowery. In a small room on the second floor of the warehouse, the goon went to work while Bert stood by with a gun.
Where's the key, Dollar?
I don't know.
And you're the guy that was going to bust my arm. Be a whole lot easier if you just tell us.
I can't tell you about something I haven't got. The goon worked on me until I passed out. Then he threw some water in my face and started working on me again. Oh, he knew his job. It hurt, but it didn't kill me. When I was coming to for the third time, the phone rang. And Bert left the room to answer it. I knew this was the only chance I was going to get. When the goon leaned over me with a bucket of water, I grabbed the cuffs of trouser legs and pulled them. I staggered up to my feet as the goon started up off his back. I kicked him as hard as I could in the face. Grabbed the heavy bucket and stumbled over to the door. Just as Bert came back from the phone call.
Hey, goon.
Ask me a civil question, Bert. I tied them up as best I could, then took Bert's gun and the car keys. I found my way out of the warehouse, climbed in the big black sedan, and drove across town to the block that ran into River Street. All the way, I kept my fingers crossed that the blind man with the tin cup and pencils would still be there. Pardon me.
Yes?
I came by here a little while ago and dropped a key in your cup.
Oh, yes, I found it. Here it is.
I'd like to buy it back.
Buy it?
Yeah. Here.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. I guess I'd better be going. It's beginning to rain.
No, it isn't. It's just bleeding out. I wheeled the big car back across town to the 11th precinct and caught Lieutenant Korchak just going off duty. He took one look at my face, mumbled something about careless truck drivers, and sat down to listen to my story.
Bird and the goon?
Yeah, I left them in a warehouse. They won't stay tied up long. The boys that picked up Maud Gilkerson were named Ernie and Frank.
Ernie Foots and Frank Silla. I'll have them picked up.
This key could bust this town wide open.
I hope you're right, Dollar. A lot of people have tried to get Hargy. Now, let's get down to Grand Central.
Right.
Oh, about Maud Gilkerson.
What about her?
They fished her out of the river about an hour ago. Okay, give me the key.
Here. Hargy knows about this locker. Ernie and Frank forced Maud to tell them before they killed her.
You sure?
They called Hargy while I was in his apartment. He told me.
Let's see what we've got. A
package.
Korchak, look out!
I'd seen them just as they came around the corner. The goon was grinning through the teeth I'd kicked out, and Bert had a big lump on the side of his head where I'd nailed him with a bucket. Everyone came out with their guns all at once. Korchak jumped to one side, and I dropped to my stomach while I squeezed out all 6 shots from the gun I'd taken away from Bert. When the smoke cleared, Korchak was down and was smiling. He'd caught one high on the shoulder, but Bert and the goon were through being bad boys. The goon was dead, and Bert didn't have far to go to catch up. The wagon cleaned it up, and Korchak and I got ourselves patched up at emergency. They wanted to keep us in for observation, but Korchak had waited too long to get Hardy, and nothing was going to stop him from making the arrest. I didn't want to miss it either. Korchak collected a squad, and we paid a visit to the penthouse. Think he skipped?
Stakeout said he hasn't left the building. Come on, Hargy, open up. This is Korchak, and I got a present for you.
Get back. Come on in, Korchak. I got a little something for you, too.
Now, I'm kind of glad he wanted it this way. I'll shoot the lock, and then we go in. All right, hit the door. You all right, Dollar?
Yeah, sure. Is he dead?
He sure is.
Expense account items 5 and 6. The $200 I gave to Maud, which they never recovered, and $1.50 for the 2 bottles I gave to Wilbur, who recovered 3 days later. The contribution to the blind man is on me. Expense account items 7 and 8. $75.95, hotel bill, train fare, and incidentals back to Hartford. Expense account total, $301.01, and multiple bruises. Yours truly, Johnny Dollar.
Tonight on FEN Presents, you've been listening to some of the best in radio drama with Suspense and Johnny Dollar. Be sure to join us again tomorrow night at the same time, 9:05, when FEN presents The Honeymooners and The Great Gildersleeve.
The Air University, the professional educational center of the United States Air Force. The command produces air commanders and staff officers for the Air Force, and to meet the objective, the command operates a series of professional military and specialized schools, as well as related educational and research activities. An important school of thought, the Air University, part of the United States Air Force.
Welcome back. Well, you may wonder what FEN is. FEN was the Far East Network. It was an American military network that broadcast primarily out of Japan. And it was listened to by armed forces personnel. It was also listened to by Japanese people who were wanting to learn English. That was its primary original footprint. Now, you may wonder about its mentioning the honeymooners. Well, when many of the classic television shows were broadcast, they actually were simulcast over radio with the sound only. That was something that continued for quite a while. There was one place, one time we were at in the 1980s, that was still actually doing that. You don't hear about that much today. This was also obviously a rerun because the Armed Forces Radio Service had the show in its collection, so they had the transcription and were able to run it. But the honeymooners, of course, came after this particular episode of Johnny Dollar. The one thing that was somewhat funny about this, just a weird association mainly, is the name of the murdered man in this episode was Foggy Nelson. And the name of the, if you're a fan of Daredevil, the comic book hero, you know that this guy's name was Froggy. Well, the name of one of the characters in there is Foggy Nelson. So this is one of those. I wonder if one of the writers listened to Johnny Dollar one day and the idea got stuck in their head, and when they were looking for a character name, well, out it came. I guess we will never know. Well, now we're on to listener comments and feedback, and Jim tweets in, trending down half Snickers bar and then strength work, listening to a little yours truly, Johnny Dollar, thanks to at Radio Detectives. Well, thanks so much. And you can follow me at Radio Detectives. And also over on Facebook, facebook.com/Radio Detectives. Well, we'll be back on Monday with another episode of Barrie Craig, and then join us on Friday for yours truly, Johnny Dollar. In the meanwhile, send your comments to box13 at greatdetectives.net. You can find us on Twitter at Radio Detectives. But from Boise, Idaho, this is your host, Adam Graham, signing off. Boise, Idaho, this is your host, Adam Graham, signing off. Boise, Idaho, this is your host, Adam Graham, signing off. Boise, Idaho, this is your host, Adam Graham, signing off. Boise, Idaho.